Good evening. Welcome to Dragons in the Dining Room, Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I am your DM Synnal. As you can see, we have 4 other people joining us. One from space, one from the North Pole, with the with the green bottle that's going in and out because.
That's how I censor my stuff.
And blue cup. Blue cup has become part of blue shirt.
That is a pretty good color match.
Yeah,
I did not think of that. Although it does not look the same color at all, non-camera, but
And
is it like a clear glass and it's just so you can keep the color through it?
Yeah,
it's darker color than my shirt. It's a
Hello.
green.
Oh.
Here.
by the way, Loxy has already said hi to the stream in her own unique way.
Oh, thanks for the fireball. Or potential fireball.
hang on, let me take a shot of this one. I need this now. Shot of water.
Are you sure that's
As we last, 100%, I don't know. As we last left our adventurers, they were on a island east of east.
Thank you,
Saltmarsh,
Sikazilla.
east of Saltmarsh.
What's up, Sikazilla?
Goat Marsh?
Yes, Goat Marsh.
Might as well be Goat Marsh.
I would say, oddly enough, spoilers soon.
What? Wait, what?
They are about 2 miles off Saltmarsh. They were teleported here via magical little portal on the behest of a merfolk who was trapped in a red sack by his fellow compatriots in the ocean / sea / whatever technique or water that is. They are to clear out the lighthouse because people who
See you
come
later,
here
Lexi.
after a few years or a few days become tainted. They start turning into evil, nasty creatures, which our party ran into and dealt with. They rescued the town senior counselor. Get it? She's old. Eva, and made their way to a small cabin in the center of the island that used to be the old Lightkeeper's cabin. When they arrived there, they realized there were sigils on the ground, red glowing sigils. After a certain someone dispelled my fun away, and
Who would do that? I mean, that would never happen in this party.
yes, they made their way inside the cabin. Cabin? Wow!
Words.
Maybe that water did have something in it.
It was vodka in disguise.
Yes. So, as they all made
Some
their way
really
inside,
clear water.
Eva in tow, the door shut, and the only light source in the cabin, other than the light source that's outside, was blocked by a monster. Yeah. No, it's still blocked, technically.
Well, but it's still there.
Yes,
Just
it's
because
still
you
there.
can't see it, it doesn't.
It's just a big, giant, glowing ball of awesomeness. The candle in the cabin went out, and that's where we left off. So now you are in a cabin with one bed, one table, one chair, one desk, a bookshelf that's got a couple of things on it, nothing special, a couple of books. This is me, or is Dean Tiggertot's really quiet? Maybe I can get a little closer to the mic. Let me see.
If I was quiet, that's because you're hearing me over his mic. Unless I unmute myself. I don't know.
No,
Might be.
they're talking about Synnal.
Hello?
And he also said maybe Muckus, which is me.
Oh.
Where is the earth-shattering kaboom? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
I don't think you did fireball yet.
That's coming up, which is why I'm
Oh.
on the roll for it at this moment.
Oh, I was gonna say, was it successful?
We're about to find out.
Okay.
I was going to say we don't know yet.
Oh, actually, you know what helps? Having dice. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
whoops.
That'd be a thing.
All right, if the
Although,
DM doesn't
you know-
have their dice in 15 minutes, we win.
Yeah.
And the campaign's over! Yay! Win! All
We are the
good.
win.
And we have all the spoils and everything. It's great.
And just when you thought it was over with, unfortunately, you hear the second boss theme kick up.
Save scum, save scum, save scum.
No, it is not a fireball, unfortunately.
Would that be Pain or Sephiroth?
Right?
Both at the same time.
Ooh.
with a dog with a sword in its mouth. Alright, so now that I have dice and I have a proper DM, let us begin. You're in a cabin with all those things around you. It is actually kind of cramped because you have, 5 bodies in there. When the candle goes out, you notice that the faint light that was popping through the outside is no longer there, and that it is complete and utter darkness on the outside.
Yay, darkness!
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yes. Those with dark vision,
I was thinking darkness imprisoning me. All the dice.
we haven't got to meta vision.
Those with dark vision?
Yes, those with dark vision can see. Everyone else is really, really dim. Everyone else who does not have dark vision, you can't see. Beep.
Well,
Well,
I'm blind, but my eyes are glowing.
Yeah. you have a very faint light from Tyr's eyes.
Nah, I can't see either.
Am I the only one who can see?
no, I can see you.
Oh, it's
I'm
the
just
two of
very
us.
inhuman.
Well, should we relight the candle or just relight a torch here? So for our blind brethren.
I can just turn the shield on if we want.
Oh, we can do that too.
Sure, why not?
I somewhat quietly announced Nikan. Now that I know that shouting it creates an orb for 7 days.
Unfortunately, your shield is no longer working.
That's right. It broke. It broke.
Oh. That's not good.
Alright. I'll get a torch out.
All
Light it
right.
up.
You light the torch, and as soon as you light the torch, the candle on the desk eats the flame from the torch, and the candle is now lit.
I'm gonna go over to where the candle
Let's get a
is.
little not to.
Yes, your torch is now out, but the candle is lit.
I'm gonna go over to the candle.
You have gone over to the candle.
I'm gonna pick up the candle.
As you try to lift this candle, you notice that it is not budging. This candle is on the desk, melted into the desk, but of course, it's just wax. But for some reason, it's not coming off the desk. Strangely enough, too, as the wick is burning, there is no wax leaking from the candle.
Well, I just handed down the candle.
What else do we see in this room? Well,
There is
cabin,
a
whatever.
there is a desk, a chair, a bookshelf with a few books on it, but it looks like they're in very bad condition. A bed that looks super rickety, and cobwebs, dust, nastiness.
Who's carrying Ava? Wasn't I carrying Ava?
I think
believe
I'll-
you were.
Yeah, okay. So, can someone check the bed so I can put Ava there?
I'll go check the bed.
I'm gonna-
As you go give this bed the egg test, so by egg is hand, the bed creaks and groans, but it looks like it could possibly still support some weight. Not too much.
Alright, looks safe.
Alright, I'm gonna put Ava on the bed.
All right. Whoever just put Ava on the bed, please give me a dex save.
Six.
Ooh.
6.
6.
All right. This is what the other people see in this dimly lit candle room. She grabs Eva, puts her on the bed, and as she goes to put her on the bed, there is a brilliant light that fills the room. As Eva and our favorite dancing cleric are now no longer in the cabin,
Great.
as it looks like she was sucked into the bed.
That's not right.
I wonder why that didn't. I wonder why that didn't happen when I touched the bed.
Yeah, that's a good
That was
question.
shortly. You'll find out shortly.
I'm gonna check underneath the bed. Just in case if it was, some sort of illusion and they just kind of fell through.
What Krabby said. Wow, my camera is why you look so bad, camera? It's like a 144. Whoa! It didn't like me. Suddenly, I'm in the bed. But I'm not in the bed. But I'm in the bed. But I'm not in the bed. Okay, sorry. That was amusing.
Do I happen to see anything underneath the bed?
You do not happen to see anything underneath the bed. It looks like a normal bed.
I'm gonna start trancing around the room, seeing if there's any trapdoors or something.
I'm not sure what's going on here, but I already checked the bed. Nothing happened. She threw Ava on the bed, so it's either her or Ava that caused this thing to trigger.
Yes, there is no trapdoors, no nothing, no secret tunnels, no hidden lights, no motor cars, no single luxury.
Am I dead?
You're not dead.
Okay, good.
Are those books, are they just pamphlets or something, or?
They're really old, musty books. It looks like books that have been on a shelf that have been exposed to a bunch of air and moisture.
I go jump on the bed.
You hear creaking and groaning, and Tyr is surprisingly not through the bed, even though he's jumping up and down on the bed.
Without her or Ava, I'm not sure how we're gonna find him.
Well, maybe. I'm gonna look through this book and see if there's maybe something here that might be able to help us.
What was Eva carrying? Did she have something on her?
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you, Krabby.
For sake of things, when you found Eva and whatnot, she did mention something, if someone remembers from the last campaign, which was a month ago. Something about actually, give me an insight. Come give me an insight. I'll have to make this hard for you as I can.
That's actually not a bad insight.
In a month.
Let's see here. That roll was.
Okay, well you're going in
21.
because
That was insight. 22.
22?
Mm-hmm.
All right. With your insight, you remember that she had mentioned something about an object, an artifact that was creating portals. She said, "Oh, it looks like the object had worked."
Oh. Well, gee, what if you just lie down on the bed? I think that's kind of what,
I lie down on the bed.
Here, there is a blinding light in the room. As you lay on the bed, you are sucked into it.
What
Well-
part of my body goes first?
I'm sorry?
What part of my body goes first?
Think you like being the Nightmare on Elm Street scene where Freddy Krueger kind of grabs a person and you just go black hole.
That is a little frightening.
I'm still confused.
You lay down on the bed and you got sucked in like
Right, but bouncing around on the bed and touching the bed and feeling around on the bed didn't do anything. Laying down is the trick.
that is the trick.
I look over. Okay, my turn. I lay on the bed. I lay on the bed, and I get like I lay sensually, like I do this. I'm looking at. Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart. What's your name again?
Torlock?
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting on the bed looking all sexy. I'm like, what's your name again?
That sounds about right.
As he does that, unfortunately you hear whisper in your ear, painted like a French girl, and he is sucked into the bed.
Alright, well, this is my turn. I'm gonna lay face first on the bed.
The pillow mimic springs to life and eats your face.
I can't get any in there.
Once again, you lay down in the bed. As you lay on the bed, there is a brilliant light that fills the room, and you are sucked into the bed. As you four open your eyes, you wonder. And by the way, do you remember my virtual background that I had when I first popped up?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're seeing right now.
Oh, yeah.
That was supposed to be the spoiler.
Fair enough.
There is a vortex surrounding you four. It is swirling in this purpley black haze. It almost looks like starlight. Best way to put it, Stargate SG-1, go into the wormhole type of thing. Eva is floating probably a few hundred feet in front of you, and you are all being pulled in the general direction of forward.
Well, this is not the strangest experience I've ever had.
And you are definitely floating in the air, like it is just.
Well, you did spend that time in the goat's head.
The goat's head.
Yeah, whatever the name of that place was we burned down.
Yeah.
That wasn't my strangest experience either. Although this one started to get close.
This is his STD. What happens is it's spatial. Everyone gets affected by it as long as you're near him and you lay down in the same bed as him.
Hey, Speedy.
Torlock, you are now infected because you went after him.
What's up, Speedy?
There is just a few moments of this, and when you guys go to talk, or like or scream or anything, like any sounds that you produce, it sounds very echoey.
Is there any movement? Do we feel falling?
We're being. I think you were stepped away for a second. We're being pulled forward.
Okay, I'm just gonna sit down.
Tyr has become Guru and is now doing this thing.
like Journey to the Center of the Earth. Are we still falling?
Hey, Jaded.
I'm still falling.
Hey, Jaded.
Hey, Jaden. As we fall into the realm of monsters.
Hey, if it was digital monsters, fine.
Even if it was Pokemon.
Eva, being a few hundred feet of you, you notice as she's going through, her body is starting to become almost translucent, like it's being faded away.
Oh, that don't seem right.
And
I'm
then,
gonna grab
Maybe
her
she's
wrist.
returning to where we came.
well, she's a few hundred feet away in front of you, and right now there's no way to move.
Why would she be 100 feet away from me when I had her in my arms when I was laying her on the bed?
So you laid her down in the bed, and
And I
she
lost my balance.
she transported first, and you went. "Ah!"
So
she
that
was
means-
technically first.
That means
So are
we
we all,
shouldn't
like,
be
100
able
feet
to see him.
Each person as you fell in, you're about 50 to 60 feet. When she put Eva in, she was a little bit further. But right now there is no way to either move or jog or anything in that general direction. You're just falling forward, being pulled forward.
I want to try to sweep.
Nothing happens.
Just sit down. We're along for the ride. There's nothing we can do till we get to the end.
Yeah, just lay back and ride.
She becomes translucent and she just straight up fades away. The next person to do this is your dancing cleric.
This is how we die.
Yeah, she starts turning translucent and she's like,
Apparently
And
this
then-
is how we die, yes.
and then it keeps going in that order. So then it's Tyr, then Marcus, then Torla. And as these people fade in and out of reality, yes, you all come back to your senses, very disoriented. Please all give me a con save. Have you ever seen Skyrim opening when it fades to black and he looks at his hands and he's looking down?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, god dang it. The meme. It exists and yet they don't know.
I try not to pay attention to memes as much on the internet, sorry.
Alright, did anyone roll higher than a 15? No one.
Oh, except for
I did.
Huh?
Have my hand up. I did.
Okay. Melody, you're the only person who seems to have, sorry, not Melody. Oriole, my bad. Bad. You're the only person who seems to not have an extreme case of nausea. As everyone else is on the, well, they're trying to stand up and,
Problems.
huh? If you didn't roll higher than 15, then you are. I'm just trying to say things to speed this up.
Hey, Twiz.
Hello to this.
Oh, you're level 1?
You didn't ask, and I asked if you shared.
That's fine. Marcus really seems horribly bad, but he's not keeping his lunch or whatever he had in. Everyone else is very.
if he's puking, I'm puking too. Because mine was much higher.
Sympathetic.
Sympathetic puking.
Now here's,
It's a thing.
I know, it's so gross.
well, I hate to tell you, as you're all barfing slowly but surely, you're back in the cabin, except for this time when you're in the cabin. Eva's on the bed. You four are spaced out as close as you possibly can. The cabin looks really nice. New desk, new chair, bookshelf looks immaculate. Only one book on there, but it looks almost brand new. And the floor that you're puking on, sadly, almost smells like pine.
This is
how
Syrinscape,
it's all, baby.
Does it overwhelm the vomit?
Yeah, she's still on the bed in the bed. It's like, oh, did someone just build that a week ago?
Did I miss something?
Did we go to a copy of the cabin that seemed younger then?
Is there anybody else in the room?
I think we're in a parallel universe.
And what are you talking about?
Well, there's a theory about beds, and some beds take you to parallel universes, and this is something like where we were before, but now it's different. It could be Saltmarsh instead of Saltmarsh.
Someone please slap him.
You
Someone
mean that?
explain to me what he's babbling about?
You mean that I could potentially see a copy of myself here?
No, because we're in a different universe, so you wouldn't see a copy of yourself. Well, maybe actually, because you could have already existed here. But then if you meet yourself and you touch it, you explode.
All right, so
But
as
the
this
gods have only
happens,
created one universe. I don't know what you're talking about.
as this happens, the door flies open and a stick figure pops out and goes, "There's not enough time to explain!" before he gets pulled away with a tentacle.
Thinking about that's we're in the weird dimension.
You're welcome, Jaded. That was actually kind of fun to watch.
Marcus, with his explanation of strangeness, oddly enough, knowing this by making me too many flashpoints.
And Torlok no wants to touch anything in case he touches the copy of himself.
Now we know about time travel? Like what? I would
So
assume, I would assume we didn't have any clue about time travel or space travel. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm a bard. I'm just making shit up.
Right.
So as this is happening, and you know, two people have puked, one sympathy, one.
I'm gonna go to each person and make sure they're okay.
They're probably not feeling well. You seem to be not too bad. Like you're just like, I'm good. What's up? How you doing?
I don't want to travel like that again.
I think I shall nickname you Diggle.
What about Diggle?
From Green Arrow.
Oh, you said Diggle. I thought you said Diggle.
Oh, Diggle. Yeah, okay, got it. Pickle. Obviously, pickle. So what's going on? How you guys doing?
I'm looking around. Is there anybody present?
Just you four, or five, I should say.
Okay,
Well, suddenly I'm hungry again.
that
I'm
happens.
gonna look outside.
You're always hungry, Marcus.
No,
Okay,
he's
I'm
always
hungrier.
thirsty. He's always thirsty. You got wine. Do something about it.
You're one to talk, Mr. Lazy Rope Twirler.
Ugh, children.
It's a profession. As you look outside, you notice that this island seems to be slightly changed from the time you had seen it. There is hardly any trees in the near vicinity. There are no strange red glowing runes on the ground that you can see out of it. The candle that is on the desk is still there, but it looks brand new.
Is it daylight or nighttime on Steve?
It is daylight.
I say night can't see if my shield works.
Your shield does not work.
Perfect. Then I suggest that we somehow travel time, because if we went to a different place, my shield might have started working again.
Alright. I'm gonna take a look at the books again.
All right,
One book.
one book.
I'm gonna step
Alright,
outside.
You go to look for the book. You flip open a couple of pages, and you realize, as you're looking through this diary, anything that you do is being scribbled down in this book as you do it. There is the party, it's the names of the party arriving, puking, looking around, you reading this book, and then it stops. Oh, sorry, Tyr looking outside, or we'll look outside, and then you reading this book.
Someone's narrating my life in here.
What are you
And
talking
as you
about?
say that, someone narrates right, and it starts slowly scribbling in the book.
What are you talking about?
As he
Oh,
says
so-
that,
so-
it slowly starts scribbling in the book.
So I can say anything I want and be in this book?
It keeps going on.
Does it talk about the time travel thing?
It talks about you discussing time travel.
Oh.
I'm gonna take the book and
I really wish you guys guys would have read the books. It would have been so goddamn funny. Okay, anyway.
Not sure if this will be useful at all, but I will take this with me.
Alright, you pocket the book of storytelling.
So how many pages are there?
It seems like whenever it scribbles and it goes to the next page, it just another page appears towards the end. But if you were going to like keep like fanning the book, it looks like it has like maybe 100.
Well, surely at some point the book would get too big, right? I mean, if you kept expanding forever and ever and ever, the book would become untenable.
Not
Also become a
necessarily.
bigger
Maybe
book.
the book grows. Maybe the spine will get thicker too.
Have fun carrying that around, because I have a long story for you.
Your backpack starts getting heavier. As he's
The more we're just walking along, and I'm just gibbering and making crap up, and his book's getting bigger.
he will become the Bible thumper.
That's my new weapon.
This is the word of us. But yes, this was happening. Anyone else doing anything else?
I stepped outside.
Tyr, you step outside and it smells really good. The air is super clean. There is very little trees on an island.
We're on an island.
That had a bunch of trees.
Are there saplings? Are there tiny little trees?
Even little trees.
We're back in time.
Tyr, what you notice that you should have noticed, there seems to be a lighthouse in the distance, under construction.
Nice.
Can we see Saltmarsh from here? Because we could from the other island, right? It was on fire.
If you peek around, Saltmarsh wasn't on fire.
With the tavern on fire and the coup happening, there was a lot of fire, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So we could see like smoke coming from Saltmarsh.
Slept there.
Okay, fine. What I'm saying is can I see Saltmarsh in the distance?
There still would be smoke if it was still on fire.
As you walk around the cabin and you peek over, you notice there is a town? Question mark? In the distance. It doesn't look like it's very populated or built or is that a town?
Well,
Doug has to go to.
looks like we get to rewrite the history of Saltmarsh.
Interesting. I'm gonna check.
Yes.
Excuse me, on Ava.
So here's the first thing. I need someone to give me perception as if you step outside.
That'd be a 21.
Okay, with your perception of 21, you hear what sounds like hammering in the distance that's being echoed, possibly from the skiffs that are along the lighthouse.
People are working. Yay! Now, if my memory serves, they've already killed the siren on this island.
Yes, because they didn't construct or do construction on the island until after she was killed.
Alright.
But you do remember them saying the island was cursed even after she was dead and they were burying people.
That's where my brain is going. It got really, it actually got cursed after killing the siren.
Correct.
So, I'm gonna turn around, poke my head in the door. Well, the island's not cursed yet, but it's gonna happen soon.
Great.
Alright,
Oh, I'm.
Ava, are you awake?
Ava is slowly coming to her senses. She seems very disoriented.
Welcome to your childhood.
She looks over and now our dancing cleric did heal her for 12. It didn't like fully heal her, but it got her decently up there. She's still a bit sore, old age.
I believe stones.
She looks up and she lifts the covers, and she's like, "Who the hell makes a bed of stone?"
The stonemasons, I assume?
And, like, you can almost audibly hear like the in her body. She gets up and she stands up and kind of makes herself more noblish, prominent looking. She goes, "What took you so long?"
I'm sorry. We wanted to make sure that we wouldn't die first.
Die? What? From what? I was being held captive.
Yeah.
Did you get my messages?
No.
Nope.
Right, no.
What
She's like,
messages?
she stops and she goes, "Good Lord, I swear." She kind of just pops her head back into place. And just, oh God. Okay. All right. So what happened?
Saltmarsh got exploded. We traveled back in time. We're here.
She goes, "Saltmarsh is exploded?"
No, but some stuff did happen. So,
Saltmarsh is being taken over. Things got burned down. And
Yes.
now we transported it to this island somehow. To the
We're on-
rock, actually.
We're on the Abbey, the island.
Yes,
with the
we're...
lighthouse, and it appears like
We need to get off this place immediately.
Would you just be quiet and listen, woman? We're back in time. This is before anything happened. The curse hasn't hit yet. We can stop that from happening. It's before Saltmarsh got attacked.
It's the
Heck, I think this is when you were a little girl.
Yeah, this is years and years and years before. Like,
You might actually be a teenager here, but as old
When
as
you
you are
were
now,
a
this was
child.
back then.
Oh, TLDR, the siren got killed hundreds of years ago.
Oh. Well, you
She,
might see your ancestor here then.
yeah, she gets up and she moves people aside from the cabin, walks out, and she looks over and she goes, "Oh."
yeah,
She looks over and she goes, "Oh." Looks back over to Tyr and she goes, "Maybe we shouldn't get off this island?"
Huh? Why's
So
that?
what do you propose we do?
Wise woman who's no longer in charge?
Now she's thinking about the consequences. She's like, what would happen if we were to affect things? Or
It could
maybe-
get interesting.
And then she goes, well, maybe we were supposed to affect things.
I have an idea.
By the way, Tyr, I should probably know this too. Eva's actually very intelligent. But
Right now, she's not showing it.
I have an idea.
she's a little bit disoriented after being beaten to death and
Okay, and?
timey-wimey.
And?
I have an idea.
Thank you, Speedy.
You would know her to be if. One second, I'm explaining backstory here. Calm your boobies, Phil's gold boy. You know her to be very intelligent. Like it would take her a minute. Like if there was a problem, she would have a solution to it in about 2 minutes.
She hasn't earned my respect.
Yeah, she's decent. Of course, you and her are fighting constantly.
Yeah, so
Sure.
this is how I would treat her right now.
Yeah, she's like, not now. She looks over and she goes, all right. There is nothing in any of my documents, journals, diaries, anything with the history of this town that I have read upon, mentioning about travelers from another time.
Okay, and?
News to me.
Yeah. She goes, goes, so, we shouldn't be able to affect things so long as we don't happen to kill or maim. And as she's saying this, she's looking right at Tyr. Or hurt or affect anything. If you're saying what you're saying is true, and she looks over and she goes, the lighthouse is under construction. That means the siren is already dead. And then she looks around and she goes, the dead haven't been buried under the trees yet.
We should prevent that from happening, because that's part of the problem. Why else be here other than to fix the problems of Saltmarsh itself before they exist?
And as you say that, she goes, oh no. And she lifts up her shirt, pulls out this necklace, and as she looks at it, she goes, oh, this might be the problem. And the necklace that she has worn around her neck is black as pitch. And she goes, I think I may have uttered the wrong incantation.
And what was the correct thing supposed to do?
And she was like, well, when aid wasn't coming to me, this necklace, it allows a user to create portals, which existed here long ago, to allow people to transfer. And she's trying to put this in words, like, it allows beings to go from one place to another.
It's called teleportation.
Yes, but not exactly teleportation. It's more of a...
Are you talking about chronomancy?
It's not... No. This is actually DM going brain party. It's that discussion I had with you about Dimension Door and how it was having a lingering effect. But,
This is Tyr spouting words.
yes. And she goes, simply put, I was trying to use it to get away. I got captured anyway. But I may have said the wrong incantation. I am not exactly a magic wizard, a sorcerer or wizard, or someone who of your class. And as she says class, she is very irritable.
Could this be just like one giant dream sequence?
I'm gonna pinch Torlock.
Yeah, she walks over to you and slaps you across the face. Not like lightly, not like whoosh, just
I'll take that as a no.
good. At least you're somewhat intelligent. That's
He's the way. He didn't get caught. You did. So there's intelligence there.
that's like, damn Belmont. Knew I should have made a deal with them. And she goes,
Should have or shouldn't have?
shouldn't have.
Why did you make a deal with Belmont?
It was for the safety of Saltmarsh.
Well, that turned out swimmingly, didn't it?
Speaking of swimmingly, and she looks across the waters and she goes, we're not
Make a
going to
deal.
find, and she's like, we're not going to find answers here on the Abbey. If we are a few hundred years in the past, and she's kind of looking around, then we could use the aid of those who made this necklace.
Well, I think we have something much more important to do first.
She looks and she goes, and that would be?
Not burying dead people on this island.
Yep.
She goes, oh, actually? And she thinks about it. She goes, yes, but what if we messed with time?
Isn't that the reason that we're here? That's what I said.
Well,
Apparently you were not listening.
no,
Can't think and listen at the same time.
it's not that, dear girl. You think about it. What events transpired that happened that made you come to the to rescue you.
We got on a boat.
Everything went to hell. Isn't it a good idea to try to prevent everything from going to hell?
Right, but if we cleanse this island of the curse, but the island is cursed in the future, wouldn't that affect us not going back through time again if we go back forward in time? And like it makes sense, like, if time is one string and you make it, is it going to make a new timeline, or is that timeline never happen?
Well, in either case, if we make things better or worse, obviously we won't know until we actually do something, and if we go forward in time, so to speak, and it's changed, then I guess that's our new timeline, right?
There are two things that we can choose to do here to avoid what happened to Saltmarsh. The first one, no dead bodies on the island. The second one, we got some dude that's messing with plants that should not mess with plants.
And as she says that, she goes, "Oh." And there was reports of a plant creature that was seen along the beach just south of Saltmarsh and was heading into the waters.
Yes. We faced that plant creature.
Oh, it seems like you didn't kill it. What made you not kill it?
It
It
wasn't
would have
trying
killed
to kill
us.
And then she says she thinks about it and she goes,
It also might be transformed from an innocent girl.
"Oh, well, that would definitely be a good reason. Yes. Good on you for not killing it then."
But we found out later that she was alive still.
I'll kill little girls.
So it wasn't the little girl.
No, you're right, Ariel.
We thought it was, which is why we didn't kill it.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Either which way, that's in the future. We're in the past.
yeah, we're clearly hundreds of years in the past, and the siren's death was, and she looks at, she thinks about it, and she's like, roughly 213 years ago.
How long before the lighthouse began being built was she killed?
It was just about 2 years or so.
So we've gone 211 years in the past then, from your calculation.
Roughly.
Well, we can always ask what day it is from them construction people down there.
And she goes, "Well, if we are 200 and some odd years in the past, I still have my ancestors in Saltmarsh. We were the founders."
That's fine. One of the first things that we gotta do is we gotta rest. Because while you had a nap, we haven't.
And she goes,
So
Yeah, that's a good point.
"Yes, you do look a little battle scarred." And she's like, "Well, it's daylight. This cabin doesn't seem to be in use except for the puke that's on the ground. I don't know. Probably you could clean that up, Tyr." She may have seen you use prestidigitation a couple of times.
Hey, thanks for cleaning up my puke tier.
And yeah, snap my fingers and it's gone.
Okay. And she goes, "Well, I mean, I'm decently okay. I can take watch. If someone happens to come to the cabin, then I can say that we were travelers and we were taking a break here at the Abbey and saw this happen."
great. I'm
Sounds
gonna
good
go
to me.
Hello, Miss
in the
Fatal
corner
Pillow.
and meditate.
Hey, Miss Petapito.
Hello, Miss Fatal.
Tell you what, I got one more spell left of a high enough level here.
Oh,
I will take watch with Madam Ava. Once you are done meditating, I will rest.
okay. Before I start meditating, I'm going to heal all of us.
There is a magic first on the table.
Which is going to be great for what's happening next.
Yes, because she just casted a healing spell, but the magic verse is going to go off. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm trying to find the page, I'm sorry.
That's just-
With that magic.
Where's the thing? This thing. Okay, so that's maximum for plus
Nice.
11 plus, where are you? Nope, that's not what it said. Sorry.
I might have rolled this before.
So it's 11, 14 points of healing to everyone in the room.
Yay!
Yay, mass healing word. And the cleric of life.
Alright, I actually have it pulled up this time because I'm awesome like that. Same spell. Okay. Okay, I can't tell you what's going to happen.
Okay.
All I need you to do for me, Ariel, I need you to write 5% somewhere on your character sheet.
What's up, booze?
Oh.
boost.
Hey, Booze!
Okay. 5% is written on my character sheet.
Okay. Do not ever erase that.
Oh god. Okay.
It's a permanent effect.
Yeah.
I thought none of the effects that we had in the thing were supposed to be.
They're not supposed to be permanent.
That one definitely is.
They're
None of
not
them are
supposed to be permanent.
Well, you have glowing eyes.
That's why I'm just saying they're not supposed to be.
That was the whole.
Don't worry, maybe it's a good thing.
Or it's a bad thing.
Maybe it's a good thing.
I mean, we haven't modified them to be to the point that they're harmless, so.
Alright.
So as this is going on, you guys are getting rest. Tyr and Eva are discussing what exactly happened in Saltmarsh.
We're also going to be invisible while that's happening.
Oh, you're gonna cast?
I'm going to upcast invisibility so she and I are both invisible so we can sit outside
Okay.
and
That's
watch.
That's for an hour, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Alright, for 1 hour you are invisible. Yes. So, during the first hour, since you are invisible, and people who are sleeping, nothing seems to be disturbing, you are still hearing that hammering away. Eva is discussing with you what happened in Saltmarsh.
Sorry, Miss Beverly shouted off early.
Yes. She's explaining to you. Oh God. Okay.
Yes,
That's
blame
okay.
Loxy. She's the one who shut it off like immediately as we started.
Eva explains about the deal with Belmont. That she had received word at some time before you guys arrived at Saltmarsh that the Sea Princes were planning an attack, and they were in allegiance with the Merfolk, who recently have not been. They have been very discomforted with what people were doing in their waters. Now, the bad blood between Saltmarsh and Merfolk has never actually become like physical violence. They have done stuff to where like they've maybe damaged the rudder on the ship, or what are you doing? Oh, dice. Gotcha. Or maybe they've all the trash and everything that's been thrown in the waters suddenly exploded on top of their ship. That kind of thing.
So mostly pranks.
Yes. Pranks, but like stop polluting our waters kind of thing. She explains that the deal was that Belmont, being a very powerful wizard, would conjure creatures or make creatures that would protect the city. But in exchange for this, he would be left to his own devices to do research. This particular type of research, as her spies and whisperers were going through the village and whatnot, caught the attention of Prime Water. And slowly but surely, Saltmarsh started to descend into chaos from rebellions, grain shortages, strange things happening at the cemeteries, stuff that your party is familiar with. And then what happened was, as you guys were leaving Saltmarsh to head for mines and whatnot, not by your choice. The coup happened. Prime Water and Belmont teamed up, and they started gathering people, getting guards into their payroll, that kind of thing. Either work for us or you're going to die, kind of type of thing. Pretty much what you can put is two and two.
Right. Well,
and she looks over at you and she goes, I am sorry to say, but if and when we get back, she was like, more than likely Saltmarsh will probably need to be raised to the ground.
yeah,
That's only what I've been suggesting for the last 5 weeks.
you're asleep.
He's so sleepy.
Well,
Bird, Saltmarsh.
Why isn't my sleep working? And then his stream switches over to guards trying to arrest him.
thank you, Dr. Bosky. So, if we have to burn the city down, whatever, I can help with that. If we can save the city and destroy the people who are bad, we can do that. Or, seeing as we're here, we can stop some of it from happening before it even happens.
And she goes, I don't see how we could stop it. And as she says it, she goes, the fortress. And she goes, the fortress event. The fortress being sunk into the ground, it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, there's something else you can consider too. What is Belmont working on?
Unfortunately, I didn't get too into details. It was just hearsay and whatnot. It was something about feeding a bee.
Okay, he's feeding the kraken.
And she goes, then yes, we could stop it all. The kraken, the beast, it was said to be from a deity, a god, created when humans and merfolks had a war.
Right?
And she goes, if we stop that, prevent the fortress from falling, then perhaps none of this will happen.
Maybe we can stop the fight.
And she goes, that would be greatly appreciated because, well, she goes, you know how she is.
Is Belmont hundreds of years old?
As our sleep is clean.
Bill Belmont.
Question everything in my sleep.
So, beyond even stopping the war, we can also stop the dead people from being buried here. And, on top of all of that, we know where Numbskull's going to be doing his work. so we can set up different things now that can survive into the future to make their life miserable for when they try and do their thing.
And she goes, well, according to the historians and the documents I've browsed while I was a child, I did love their tales of fantasy. There were quite a bit of scryers and soothsayers in the town of Saltmarsh. It was more of a, and she kind of goes, it was more of a zealous kind of crusade to bring Saltmarsh up and at him.
Okay.
And she goes, new folks may have undesirable characteristics when they come to town.
Meaning what?
In that book.
Most likely what's happening, or what happens when we arrive at Saltmarsh, we may be questioned quite a bit. There was a councilman coming over from Kaolin that was supposed to help me in my endeavor to question people on their legitimacy of being in Saltmarsh. Well, the first crusade to Saltmarsh was, how you can say, very violent. The lizardfolk that were in the area were almost eradicated. And if you were not of non-bestial origin, you were heavily scrutinized. But if you were of bestial origin, you were most likely murdered, or taken hostage and then murdered.
Well, it sounds like there's lots of things that we shouldn't get our fingers involved in, but there's some minor things that we should.
Yes.
So we're going to stop a war, we're going to stop dead people from being buried here, and we're going to mess up the plans of Belmont and... why can I never remember his name? The guy who started the coup.
Primewater.
Yeah, Primewater.
Galen Primewater. Okay. Don't involve your fingers in mine, but... See, wow. Is that shiny or booze?
That's booze.
Okay, I understand that's booze. I was like, shiny would be like, let's just slap fingers in a TM. You're a scum. So that's what happens during the first hour.
And as I know invisibility is dropping, I'm going to bring us back inside.
Okay. You can estimate that the time of day was about 10 a.m. roughly. So it's now 11. People are sleeping. You get inside the cabin. The hammering is still going on in the lighthouse. But you didn't see anyone walking around the lighthouse or anywhere near you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but the cabin near you.
That's good.
And it is very open. Like, there were hardly any trees on this island.
Yep, that's why I sat out there.
All right, the next 2 hours. Someone give me an encounter roll.
I'm going to sit by the window with Madame Ava and keep an eye out.
How many? What is the hours? Are we doing
Should be
4-hour shifts? Is that kinda-
yeah, I was going to do 4 hours until you woke up.
Okay, perfect.
I will see if I can increase my microphone.
Hey,
The
there we
microphone
go.
is currently plugged into my laptop, which I haven't adjusted the settings for that.
Can we let Booze roll for the encounter?
Sure.
Go ahead, Booze. What are we rolling?
Oh, I'm sorry, D20, my bad.
All right, type in that roll d20s. You got a 5.
sleeping just fine. There doesn't seem to be any issues. They sound a little louder.
You're getting there.
All right. Well, I can attempt to increase
I mean,
it
you're
further.
louder to me, but I don't know about stream. I don't have it unmuted.
All right. Let's see if I can play with it a little bit. The next 2 hours, nothing really happens. No one
There you go.
seems
That
to
worked.
walk around the cabin. The hammering had stopped, like maybe they had taken their lunch break, but now it continues on at the end of the second hour.
Keeping on, keeping on.
All right. The next person, please give me an encounter roll for the next 2 hours.
Alright. Is it still within the first?
I was gonna say, within the first 4 hours, it's Ava and Tyr.
Okay. Give me another roll then.
Alright. Hey, guess what, Booze? I got a 5 too.
Oh, wait, you rolled a 52?
No, yeah, I rolled a 52 on a d20.
Oh, wait, no, 25.
Yeah, I got it backwards, sorry.
All right. The next 2 hours, nothing again seems to happen. The hammering is still continuing on. It's echoing. There's no shouts, no nothing, no anyone coming around the island or the cabin. The island, the cabin.
Alright, after that 4 hours is up, our resident
I wake up.
meditator should be waking
Yep.
up. And then I'm gonna lay down.
Eva has decided that she's going to sleep. Up
Probably
a
a good
couple more
idea.
hours.
Am I doing watch by myself, or who is joining me?
Everyone's probably still sleeping because they need the full 8 hours to get there.
Alright, well, I guess I'm on watch by myself, and I will do...
Welcome to the dining room loophole.
Hello.
Alright, microphone, you better pick me up now.
It's doing better.
I rolled an 18.
I'm practically eating it like, ooh. A 15, you said?
18.
18.
18. Oh, even better. So about the end of the 2 hour mark for that, you notice that there is, should something happen, you're probably looking out the window, I assume.
Yeah.
You notice a young male coming down from the path from the lighthouse, and he seems to be making at a steady pace, a beeline towards the cabin.
Alright. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, you know, just a young elven 6'9" lady with three other guys and an old woman laying on the bed.
I'm gonna... Well, Ava said... I don't know. I'd wake up Ava, I guess. She was going to, like, explain things for us.
She wakes up and she goes, What?
There's someone coming to the cabin. I don't know what to do.
Put him to sleep. Knock him out. Something.
I don't... I'm a cleric. I don't put people to sleep. I heal them.
Well,
That would be Marcus's job to put people to sleep. Or Tyr.
Huh? So I say cast sleep?
Eva kind of just... She gets up. Oh, why did I lay on this bed?
Child! I'm older than you, Ava.
How old are you?
I'm 100 and something.
And she goes,
190.
That kind of depends on the sleep aid, Booze. I mean, if it's like a pill, then maybe. If it's liquid sleep, not so much.
if it's a raw hypnol, then you know you messed up.
Yeah.
She gets up. So Alright. And she goes, I'll deal with it. You just stay in the cabin. You don't need to raise any more alarms. And you see her open the door, stroll out, and the young man kind of just like stops for a minute and like kind of, huh? And then he starts walking up as she goes, yoo-hoo, young man, young man.
What I do is not going to go well.
And she starts walking away. The young man was probably about 100 feet or so away, and she's going to walk up to me. I will need your elfin ears of listening really good with you rolling a 2 and somehow getting a 25 if you want to hear the conversation.
Well, I rolled a 12, so that's an 18.
Okay, just an 18.
Just.
I'm pretty sure she could
Somebody
probably
did a saucy.
I'm pretty sure she could probably put her ear to the ground and she could hear people through halfway through the planet.
No! I'm not a bat.
She's hearing the person who spoke level of hell be like, "Yeah, nice warm day out there." You kind of get close to the cabin window and you're in your ear and listening. And it sounds like she's doing a very old, oh, I'm an elderly lady kind of thing to this young man. You hear bits and pieces of, she's a traveler and she wanted to check out the lighthouse because she's an architect and she's admiring it, but she stopped at the cabin to get some rest because she's old and weary. And the old man seems to be absolutely buying it, just like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And he's like pointing things out to the lighthouse, and you can see it. The construction of the lighthouse is probably about 80% done. The tower itself is up there, and they're starting to construct the roof, where the big thing would be lit if, you know, don't come over here, you're gonna crash into the rocks kind of thing.
Or if Gondor was in trouble.
Yeah. Yes, or if Gondor was more in trouble. Like, he's just all about this. Like, blah, 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 blah. So it seems like crisis averted so far. This goes on for about another 20-30 minutes. And he seems like he wants to go to the cabin, like he's kind of like pointing towards it, and she just keeps like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Sends dialogue keeping him in place. And eventually you see him turn around and Eva start walking to the lighthouse. As he gets in front of her, she looks back and she gives a sign of like, kind of like, you know, the hands, everything's good. Yes, that is. And she starts walking to the lighthouse.
I'm gonna keep my eye on her.
Okay. She just straight up disappears over the slight steep hill up to the lighthouse and out of sight. Give me another encounter for the next 2 hours.
A 1.
A 1?
Yep. I mean, I don't understand your, like...
As we're doing all better.
You're doing encounter rolls every 2 hours instead of every 4 hours.
No, I know that. I just mean, I don't know what your dice mean as far as if that's good or bad or
I
like.
have a nice little chart pulled up right here on my laptop that tells me exactly what happens. Because I like to copy and paste things.
Half a sheet.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, after stream, not half a sheet.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Woo!
Oh,
Because
God.
we have to decide
Drop,
which
drop,
one that one. Before we do
So nothing
this.
happens, yay!
So
All
we
right.
assemble it and put it, then I need to clean your office first.
I want one of you four.
Put up against the wall.
Actually, no. Let's make this even
You
funner.
want to make space?
More fun. Everyone,
I don't want to lean it against
put
the
up
wall and
a
then
hand.
flood and get the side of it wet.
With 1 through 4 using your digits.
Living room's gonna be messy for a day.
Or that's
This is a 2.
4. Oh, okay. 2, 4.
Both.
Tier. 2. Tier.
What am I looking for? Sorry, wife was talking to me.
Put your hand up. Put your hand up and give me 1 through 4 on your hand. That's a 5. 3. Okay. If you chose 4, something itchy starts crawling up your leg.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm going to scratch at it and, like, walk
As
away
you-
from where I'm standing.
As you lift your leg up and whatnot, you notice that there seems to be red marks on your leg.
I will investigate the red marks. What are they?
Looks like bites.
Okay. From? Like, do I see anything? Do I...
As you are looking around, you notice that there are some ants. Pretty decent sized ones too, that have been walking around the cabin. They looks like they got a taste of your blood and kind of liked it.
Okay. Do I see them on anything else? Where are they traveling from?
They're mostly near the desk. So
So they're not coming in from outside?
Well,
Or,
it looks like
I
if
can't...
you give me a perception.
27. I rolled a nat 20.
You take the desk, you just kind of around, and you see that there's holes. You see someone was trying to cut corners, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just build a desk here, and stick it in the way."
How big are
yeah.
the holes?
I would say you can probably stick like 2 or 3 fingers in them. But you notice the ants have crawled in, and you happen to just be looking out the window. You leaned over and saw that. Oh, I guess they were rubbing up on them and like took me a bite. You take 1 damage, 1 subdual damage.
One subtle.
1 subdual.
Subdual.
Subdual. Something you can
I
probably
didn't-
easily get over.
Okay. Great. I will find something in the cabin to fill the holes with. Or what is the floor? Is the floor made of wood? Is the...
Yeah, the floor is made of really fine wood. Like it's
Okay.
cabin is pretty decently new.
I'm going to peek out of the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see anyone coming?
You do not see anyone coming.
Okay, I am going to go and dig in the dirt outside and fill the hole with dirt.
Okay. Yeah, there's just a couple of anthills around the corner. I mean, these are not like African ants, like, you know, the 1-inch bullet ones that would just destroy you and eat you in seconds. For my horror nightmares. They're decently sized though. You can easily find scraps of cloth or napkins or cables or something to that effect. Rags, linen, that you can just shove down in the hole. They're probably going to pee them off, but they're going to be blocked for a little bit.
I mean, my intention is to prevent them from coming in anymore.
Oh, yeah, you can totally do that.
And then I would like to, like,
Sacred Flame anthill?
no. No, I'm just going to, like, you know how you are, well, some kids just do this with the top of the anthole so that they have to rebuild their mound?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. Easy peasy, you have no problem doing that.
Real quick here. DM tackle. What's with the guide the raid?
Exactly what it sounds like. At the end of this stream, whichever ones we have suggested, we'll figure out which one we're going to rate at the end of the show.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that we had that.
Parallaxes will be pinning up. He's going to be streaming pretty late, so actually we'll be right at the end of the stream.
We'll see if he's still going when we wrap up.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I keep moving over and realizing that like half my face is out of the camera. My bad. That's why just the way my face is. All right. You get back inside
try and play Two-Face.
and that will be the last encounter roll, as everyone is fully rested, fully HP'd, and level 7. Indeed.
Later, booze.
Now it is 7:51. We will be taking our break a little bit early, but normally we take it at around 8. Stay tuned, like roughly around 30 minutes. We're not super like, oh, 30 minutes, go! So we'll be back shortly with more time walking with Ghosts of Saltmarsh. I can't think of anything else.
And for anybody out there who hasn't already, make sure to check out our social media. We've got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here at Twitch.
Don't forget about merch.
Yeah, I suppose we do have merch too.
Where's the pajama pants?
You can find the button down below. And yeah, we'll be back in a little bit. I'll post some links. So we'll see you guys in a bit.
See you in a few.
Hi everyone, I'm Turkey. I'm from the Grouch Couch. We're a D&D variety channel, and we add a lot of shenanigans into our show. If you hang out long enough, I promise that we'll make you laugh.
Hi, I'm DM Thaco from Dragons in the Dining Room. We quite literally stream D&D from our dining room. The variety D&D show, where we also have a talk show on Mondays. If you hang out with us, you may even be able to influence our show. Welcome to the dining room.
Hey guys, I'm Joe from Joe Dirt. If you guys like homebrew, some table talks, some mini campaigns, why don't you go on and jump in the hole and throw me a follow. See you there.
Hi, my name is Sprinkles. I'm from Spooky Sprinkles, and I paint cute and spooky paintings and patches. And so if you want to come watch a really wholesome art stream, come hang out with me.
Hi, I'm the Lich. I like short and hot live-action gameplays. Think you can survive the dungeon and earn the shirt? Come by on Tuesdays. Or if you dig mutant apocalypses, hit the road, Agent Spooky's Apocalypse Roadshow on Saturday.
And we are hero approved.
Go.
Hey, 113, what?
So he waits till after.
We is live. We is live.
I made homemade chicken and noodles.
Aye.
So it's good. I attempted it. He said it's good. Okay. Anyway, back to where again. Everyone's rested. You're in a cabin. It's like 2 p.m. now.
All right. So, what is Madam Eva doing right now?
She is gone.
I will relay that she disappeared with, we were going to have visitors, so.
So she wandered off with her. So she wandered off with our visitors.
Yes, because I think she wanted to prevent them from coming in the cabin. That was.
Probably wasn't a bad idea.
Well, she told me to put it to sleep, and I don't do that. Marcus does, so.
Thank you, Jaden.
Guilty as charged.
Thanks, Jaden.
Thanks, Jaden.
All right.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not too gentle when putting people to sleep.
I suppose. Did she? Do we have any idea where she went?
She went to the lighthouse, and also there's ants over there. Be careful; they seem to like to bite. And I point towards the desk.
I'm gonna go walk over there.
What was that, dear?
I'm gonna walk over there. And I'm gonna cast mending on the wall.
Oh, okay. As you cast mending on the wall, the rag / linen / that she used to stuff the hole, it's kind of and melts together.
All right,
I
so
couldn't do that. And
what?
you were sleeping. So.
Why are we staring at the ceiling?
Oh, easy.
Because I'm eating.
That is very entertaining ceiling.
I know. It's 2 shades. There's no light.
So are we gonna wait for her to come back?
Or we can go find her, or.
She's been gone for a couple of hours now.
I mean, maybe she's found herself a new partner.
I say we go and look for her.
Let's just hope we don't find anything that will ruin us for the rest of our lives.
Tyr finds his ancestor. Instead of coiling rope, he's coiling stone.
Alright.
Alright.
I suppose. Let's go play at the lighthouse.
Alright, you will head out of this cabin. As you, again, all head out, you notice there are hardly no trees. The path that would lead from the lighthouse to the cabin, to the pier / dock, is fairly new. There are no ruins. Why is there an echo?
Oh, sorry.
There are no ruins on the grass or anything of that manner.
Well, that's good.
It would be about another 10 to 15 minute walk to the lighthouse.
All right. We're gonna go for a casual stroll through the Knotwoods.
Yep.
All right. 5-10 minutes of walking, you can now see a better view of the lighthouse. You can see the base of it. You can see there's a lot of masonry work going on. There's about 8 to 10 people here. Some on skiffs going up high. There is some ramps so they can lifts, poles, levees, that kind of general thing. And as you're walking up towards the lighthouse, a couple of people have kind of just looked over, not like they're no, seem like they're pretty busy with their work. Just giving you a quick glance, looking over, and you see Eva talking to not the young man that you had seen, Ariel, but a more older gentleman. And she's actually got what looks like plans in her hands, and the gentleman is pointing out things on it, and she's moving her hand up and kind of just like leaning this way, this. It generally seems like she's entertained in what she's doing.
Looks like she's having fun.
Well, I'm gonna go approach.
All right. As you all wander towards, the gentleman kind of looks over, and Eva goes, "Oh, these are the friends I was talking about. They've probably woken up from their nap."
Seems like you got yourself into mischief again.
Mischief? No, never.
Oh,
you coy thing.
I forgot to mention it, so I guess it may or may not have happened, but I would have played my song when we woke up.
That's fine.
Everybody has 12 temporary hit points.
Yeah, I think just a little too as you're leaving the cabin. The gentleman's like, "Good day." And he goes back to discussing with her just like a moment or two, and he looks up and he goes, "You by chance aren't any skilled labor with you in your party, do you?"
I used to work on a ship.
I look at Torlock.
My skills aren't exactly in labor, so to speak, but I suppose I can do a job at a pinch.
I swear, we hire 5-10 men. They show up for one day, and then the next, they just vanish. Go back to Saltmarsh. Go back wherever else. The work's too hard.
You can never find good work when you're looking for it. I get you.
He goes,
Yeah,
"Well,
unfortunately, my labors are more into steel and blood.
Security. Got it." He goes, maybe, when they killed the siren, we probably could have used you, but right now, I could find people who have some masonry work, or just...
I can do a little bit of masonry work for you.
Well, I can lift a few things. Might be where.
He goes, "Well, you got a couple of months. We'll do about a couple of months before we get this finished." And Eva goes, oh no. These gentlemen and fine ladies are with me. They are, and she kind of looks and she goes, on a diplomatic mission.
Let me see if I can help him just a little bit.
Okay.
Do they have any stone out there that is not worked yet?
Yeah, and you can see that, you know, it's just like a stone lighthouse. So large, chunky stones on the base, and then as it slowly goes up, it kind of slowly shrinks a little bit.
All right.
Like a triangle, but like.
I'll help out a little bit here. I don't really have much power right now, as the trip has taken quite a bit out of us. And I'm gonna start using my mage hand and prestidigitation to start setting stones into place a little bit.
Okay. The stones that your mage hand can move easily, no problem. You can just, you know, kind of get it to work. And he goes, a sorcerer, and he kind of just looks at you and he goes, make sure you don't do that on the mainland.
I'm not a sorcerer. I learned this through books.
Oh, okay. Well, still, just, I would keep that to yourself on the mainland.
Oh? Why is that?
The Kaolin folks have gotten a little agitated with certain people using magical artifacts that the merfolk seem to love to trade in.
Oh. Well, as you can see, I'm not using any tools to do this.
Yes. I figured since you've been traveling a while, Ava says that you actually arrived late in Kaolin?
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't been paying too much attention. I just knew we were headed this direction. I'm not sure how long it's been.
Yes. Totally understandable. I mean, your help is much appreciated. I mean, definitely throw in a good word for you when I get back to the mainland here in a couple of days.
And I'll just kind of make my way around and see what all I can do while they're talking.
Gotcha. As he's doing that, you can see that Eva, the plans that she has rolled out that she had pretty much taken from the general run, she's like marked down changes and whatnot, and I guess from general insight, she probably did her normal thing where she took over and said, oh, look, you can do this, and this will save you time doing this. Tyr would know that she does that quite a bit.
Just a little.
Yes. And lean over and whisper to her, although we weren't supposed to do this sort of thing.
And she looks and she goes, actually, it seems like the changes that I'm making now are more line up than what we had, or what they had in the past.
All right.
AKA, she's the change. The tower that you see now that is being built would have been different if she wouldn't have changed it.
So now we've got the paradox of if she didn't change it, why is the tower the way it is if she wasn't here to change it in the first place?
Correct. Don't you love the timing, I mean?
No.
Okay. But she goes, I've decided that I'm going to stay here.
Why?
I think it's best if things were kept in line here, being from Kaolin as a counselor. That way we can get this lighthouse up and going. And she kind of looks at you and gives you like the wink.
But our travels... Oh, alright. You're the...
So, what are your thoughts about the land around here?
And he goes, the gentleman's like, well, we haven't had too much trouble. There's no real wildlife. The saplings we've planted, they'll take root. Be a couple of good decades before they spring up. Other than that, I mean, the only thing this island would be good for is the lighthouse and maybe some fishing.
I think we should keep it that way.
Yes. I see why not. I mean, the plans were simply just for a lighthouse and the lightkeeper's house who can stay here for, a couple of months and then ship out and switch in between them.
Not a bad idea. Well, Ava, it appears that we have some work to do mainland. Do you have any suggestions as to where we should start?
And she goes, oh, yes, actually. And she takes the necklace off completely and hands it to you. And she goes, well, you can, if you want, make sure that it gets tarnished. It's a little pitch from travels and whatnot, and unfortunately some carelessness on my part. So perhaps getting that fixed could solve a solution. But I do believe that, we're going to stay on mission, we're going to stay diplomatic, and see if we can stop get these wars in order. The unnecessary killing of, the lesser races, probably would help our cause later on.
Fantastic. And should I plant some seeds for the future as well?
Yes, particularly, that manor that I was discussing with you, the one with the courtyard, and, you seem to be so fond of traveling to, or at least thought of traveling to, perhaps, putting some honeydews near the gazebo would be a good idea.
I like that idea too.
And the gentleman just kind of looks and he was like, honeydews.
It's a wonderful melon. It's a wonderful melon. We're going to try and introduce it here as they grow very well.
Oh, fruit is fruit.
It's delicious.
It'll help with scurvy, I promise.
Oh. And he goes, yeah, that seems to be an issue in those travels.
Well then, my dear.
Don't worry, she'll be in good company here. We have, nothing of caliber for such a lady such as herself, but, we can make sure that she stays in the cabin.
Well, as long as she doesn't get her hands dirty, we're okay.
And she goes, oh no, we would never ask a lady to do such work.
Alright. So do we have transportation back to mainland?
And he goes, well, there are some dinghies that could get you back. However, you would need to, get someone from the docks to bring them back to us. We don't want to be stranded here.
Fair enough.
By the way, just out of sheer, because of what we've all been through and whatnot, and out of curiosity if there's even an origin to the sigil, I'm going to keep my eyes out for the symbol that was on the sigils for the opposition to Saltmarsh. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. That'll be duly noted. The guy says,
Of course, we would make sure to get them back to you. That's not a problem.
Oh yes. Just simply when you get back to Saltmarsh, speak to the harbor master. You can't miss him. He's a bald man with a giant mustache. You can't miss it. His name is Great.
His name is Pogli.
How do you pronounce that again?
Wow, I was gonna say gravy, and I don't know why.
Call him Gravy. You already said it.
No, his name is Gregory. Gregory. He'll make sure the boats get sorted and it gets some people sent out to us. Also, could you find out where are the men that I requested a week ago?
Sure, we can look into that.
Of course. And your name is, sir?
My name is Coven. That is Coven. That is his last name.
Coven. Got it.
Coven. What a Coven. Oh, yeah. Oh my god, my brain.
However you want to pronounce this fellow's name is to you, DM.
We're just going to make fun of everything that you do, though.
So, Coven, thank you.
Yes. COVID-19, yes.
Do our best to find out, and send it with a courier, a note of sort, or hopefully we'll send you.
Yes, and as I said, do try to stay on your best behavior. The security, and he says that word like it is the worst thing possible. He goes, they're very zealous on people who are new, or those who practice magic.
Well, we don't have to worry about that too much for me. The only magic art practice is more physical in nature.
And he goes, then you'll get along just fine.
Right, so let's get ourselves moving.
Eva bids you farewell, and she reminds you, make sure they're honeydews. And you guys can make your way to the pier. It's 30 minutes, if that. Not too long of a trek down there. When you get there, you can see the pier that you had saw previously is, of course, in very pristine order. There are 4 dinghies.
Should I destroy this one?
There's less oil on this one. There are 4 dinghies that are located on the beach that you could easily just kind of throw into the water and get into. With just having the 4 of you, you can take one. Be no problem.
Row, row, row your goat gently down the stream.
And it is, just to give you a hint, it is about 2 miles to get to Saltmarsh. So it is going to be a bit of rowing.
I think we should probably take turns if there's, only the 2 oars.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. The only good news is that, the current's going into Saltmarsh, so it'll help you that way.
Lovely.
The weather is very temperate. It's nothing like nothing would bug you if you were just be on there in the sun, just there's no storm in the distance, hardly any clouds. It's no bugs, thankfully.
Is the climate different at all from what we remember when we were there before, or is it pretty much similar?
Well, it seems less gloomy and also less overcast. Like, it seems that when you got to Saltmarsh, that there was like a heaviness and nasty just in the air.
Overall ambiance.
Yeah, and overcast constantly, wet, moist, humid, dreary kind of thing. This one seems sunshines and daisies. Yes, it will take, about an hour or so to get to Saltmarsh. Paddling the boat.
That fortress place, was that like far north of us, or?
Yes, it is not within eyeshot, because it is also on the opposite side. So you've got Saltmarsh, which is, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. No, it's not correctly. You'd be rolling into Saltmarsh. The fortress is far to the north. If you were on the open seas and heading in, you would probably see it, but because you are this close inland and it's got a little bit ways up, you can't see it. But yeah, it's farther north.
And we're headed west, correct?
Yes, you are currently heading west into Saltmarsh.
Okay.
You don't really seem to have anything bug you as you get into there. When you get close to the dock, there is a ringing of a bell, and you can almost hear a man, kind of muffled shout, "Oi, we have travelers!" And with that, this magical little die here, you will see that 3 guards that were a little bit into the dock are making their way up it towards you as you are throwing your rope to the man who is catching it and tying you off to the dock.
Hello.
Good day, madam. Strange to see an elf on a boat. 3 gentlemen. Per usual, you'll need to speak to the guards.
Also, we would like to speak to the harbor master, Gregory.
Oh, Gregory. Oh, did you happen to come off the island, Abby?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That actually makes much more sense. You must have been hired help.
Well, we were actually sent to inquire about said hired help.
Oh, yeah, actually it has been about a week or so since he requested that. Unfortunately, it seems that they have been, and as he says in, the guard says, "Hush your mouth, boy." One of the
That
guards...
doesn't seem very diplomatic. I'm sorry, what is your name? To the guard.
The guard that rolls up. He's, Torlock would notice that he probably seems to be a higher rank than the other guys, being from the military. He looks over and he goes, "I didn't catch your name."
I asked first, and I didn't catch yours either.
You must be new around here. Let me make sure. We speak first, you answer, then we decide if we want to give you answers.
Okay. I am Arya.
Alright, profession.
I didn't think that was the way it went. You asked my name, and then I asked yours.
Professional dancer.
And he looks over. Why is a dancer coming off of a ship?
Marcus, be quiet. I am a cleric.
That wasn't so hard to answer, now was it?
No, of course it wasn't. Now, your name, please.
And he looks over to Marcus. You, name, profession.
Marcus, professional asshole.
Well, I shove my boot up professional asshole. But...
Is that a date?
Greetings, Moondog.
He goes, the only thing you're going to be dating is a snake walking around your legs and you being thrown in the ocean. Now again, give me your profession.
I play instruments.
So you're a bard.
I have to take out the lute and strum on it.
Why is it so hard for people to answer? You. And he looks at Torlock. Name, profession.
Before I answer real quick, just as general knowledge, the kingdom that I serve, is that still around?
You are in Colin. This is Colin land.
Okay.
Well, territory, I should say. Colin is far away, and they have decided to take this territory.
Gotcha. I am Sergeant Torlock of His Majesty's Army. And you?
What's the Majesty's name? And now I need you to roll me an insight.
Okay. If you want to witness this, insight is, so that'd be 23.
Oh my god.
You nat 20 did?
Yes.
You happen to remember that, ages past, who would be the current ruler of this land? And his name is insert here. Because I'm just like,
Yes, my liege, insert here.
he goes,
King Magnus.
He goes, King Magnus. He goes,
King Magnus. There you go.
Okay, yeah,
well, Sergeant, then, what were you doing on the island of the Abbey? We need your help fighting the lizardfolk.
I was sent here to investigate a few things that sounded a little funny. And as to that, I cannot say. You know how those types of information work.
He looks at you, he looks at you up and down, and he goes, your garment's a bit weird, but I can understand that. Alright. He looks at Tyr, he goes, name, profession. you also do notice that the signet that he is wearing is of Kaelin.
Okay. Okay.
My name's Tyr, and I'm a traveler.
A traveler of what?
Just that, I travel.
So you're a drifter. Were you conscripted to be on the Abbey, or were you conscripted to be here? Wait, there's no one enters Saltmarsh without knowing what you are.
He's with us. Calm down.
I'm a traveler.
I thought he'd be useful as a guide to me. And as entertainment.
We have another.
You haven't had the best yet.
He goes, that remains to be seen with your.
I am a bit of a local legend, so.
You're local.
No.
He looks at the other two guards. He looks at the other two guards, and he goes, "We're done here. Head back to your posts." And he turns around and starts heading away. The gentleman that was speaking to you, he goes, "As you can see, we are in fine company here."
Sure.
So
Fine company.
Man, this place sucked 500 years in the future, and it sucks now too.
The guy looks over and he goes, "What?
I'm on something. Don't worry about it.
Oh, did you eat the green mushrooms?"
Yeah, that's it. Whoa, watch out.
Yeah, don't eat the green mushrooms. The lizardfolk traders will give you those. Those mess with you from experience.
Ooh, I see years into your future, man. You're gonna be over there.
Probably.
Marcus.
And he goes, Harbormaster Gregory is more than likely going to be in the Mariners Guild.
Is he going to be as friendly as that person was?
Oh, no. Harbormaster Gregory is a fine man. It's the gods are a little bit on edge ever since the issue with certain magic practitioners using less
let me
ethical
guess.
magic.
Sleeping.
He goes, "Huh. It's funny that you would say that, yes."
Trust me, I just know.
Is it the green mushrooms? Are they speaking to you?
It's
In my mushroom future, whenever I do the sleepy thing, I get arrested, so.
Oh, that's odd. You're an odd fellow. I bet your tails
He
are...
is very odd, but we like him for the most part.
So
that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Ariel.
Before we were interrupted.
Savor it. It might not happen again.
You were saying what happened to the help here, and I'm gonna put my arms around him and just be kind of a little more comradely, you know.
Oh.
So he doesn't have to say out loud, so to speak.
Yeah, he puts a smile on his face, and he was just like, "Well, we hired, I think it was roughly around 5 to 10 men to go to the Abbey to help with the masonry work. Since there's no wildlife or anything out there, we don't need security. But it's strange. Every single time we seem to hire men for the lighthouse, they get, well, conscripted to take care of the lizard folk, or go to the mines with the dwarves, or deal with the elves in Silverstrand."
So what happened to the last group?
What's wrong with the elves in Silverstrand?
They're a bit uppity about us, well, destroying nature.
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, we did kind of cut some of their forests down in their lands, and we are currently harvesting materials and resources from the mines and mountains, and which is disturbing the wildlife. The druids don't particularly like that.
And you say they're a bit uppity about that. I couldn't see why.
Oh, you know, we gotta live. I mean, As you can see, and he points his hands out, and you can see fishing boats, like, all out in this place. Thinking, well, we don't have much other than fish. The fields are growing, but they're just... The land isn't very fertile for us.
Have you ever thought of asking the elves to help you, rather than working against them and just taking things?
Imperializing?
I would be all for that. I think the elves are very friendly, and even some of the lizardfolk traders that are unfortunately not dismembered upon entering the city. I think that'd be a great idea, but the gods are just ruthless in nature. They seem to be... Unfortunately, it seems to be the actual quartermaster who's causing the issues.
Who's the quartermaster?
Quartermaster Garen. He's a particularly violent fellow. He arrived here about a year ago, and when things were somewhat okay with the lizard folk and the other, lesser creatures, you could say them, goblins, unfortunately, they seem to be terrorizing us quite frequently.
Yeah, there isn't really much they can do about that. Well, there might be.
Legends tell for a prophesized mage will come and be their leader.
I look over at Tyr. Hey, Mock.
Mock. Right. Interesting.
He goes, yes, it's a bit strange, but if perhaps someone could actually speak with Garen and clear his mind that nothing is here, or not everything here is to kill him, we could probably solve that issue. But I think it's probably the orders from the fortress to the north. They seem to have really gotten something just up their arses.
So the problem happened after he got here and he received orders from the fortress?
Yes, I don't know if you're familiar with Saltmarsh or yet the lands, but the fortress
Not
was
as
built
much.
here.
We're travelers, so.
Yeah, my orders were a bit vague on that.
The fortress to the north was built first. It was meant as a fort in case of let's just say other kingdoms who were not so happy with us coming here could be dispatched with. The main road goes near the fort, so if something were to happen, they could take care of it. Then Saltmarsh was built, but things didn't go as planned. We are near the marshes, and that is lizardfolk territory. They didn't exactly want to give up the coast. And the dwarves, mostly from the south and whatnot, they were happy to assist us, but now it's not so much. They've been more implied that they have to help us get the resources out of the mountain.
Like in slavery.
Not in slavery, indentured? We like to use the word indentured.
Oh.
Servitude.
And as he says indentured, like, you can tell he's being hardcore sarcastic. Like, saying the word slavery is probably like, but saying indentured, not so bad.
Wonderful.
Yes, but also, the merfolk aren't exactly happy to... There's a lot of vessels in the waters, and there's issues we're causing with, throwing things overboard or taking the fish, that kind of thing.
Has anybody tried to go the diplomatic approach and tried to ally with any one faction?
Previously in the years when the fort was being established, there were some allies.
Allegiances?
Allegiance. The merfolk seemed okay with us being there. We did have some lizardfolk traders, which we still do, but they haven't been coming around as much.
Can't imagine
of course-
why if they get dismembered as they enter the city.
Well, and that would be Quartermaster Garen and his brute force tactics. From what my understanding, we say that everything is fine and we're happy to trade, and when they come with supplies and whatnot, he dispatches them so we don't have to pay for those goods.
Oh.
So thievery as well. Wonderful.
Indentured thievery and murder.
So, after telling all of us this, I have a question.
Yes.
Who's more powerful than this Garen person?
Well, right now we are, being Saltmarsh, we're run by a council. Unfortunately, it would say that the fortress forces are causing an issue to where our council has their hands. And he kind of just tied as he says that in a kind of a whispered.
So, if we wanted to clear up all this mischief that Garen has, we need to clear up what's going on at the fort.
I would say so. I said it about a year ago. This is when it all really started coming down hard as a hammer.
Alright. See, I want to see this city survive. I want to see this city grow to be something amazing. I have strong feelings about that. Because something in my blood tells me that this could be a wonderful place. I want to help.
Tahiti.
I want to help. Maybe we can go on a diplomatic mission to the merfolk.
Well, that would always be helpful.
Perhaps the elves and the lizardfolk?
Well, we need to start with the merfolk because that is the well-being of this city.
Of course.
We can check
We can
the elves
start
out
there.
after that.
You're right. We can start there and work our way. I've also got orders to help eliminate the troubles of this city. So that's perfectly aligned with what I'm here for.
So you're not one of Garen's men?
Oh.
I think Garen would not like to have Torlock as his sergeant.
I mean, you seem like a strong Brutus fellow. Not implying anything. You seem well built.
Well, let's just say I got a few years under my belt there.
Oh, okay.
His mama didn't raise no fool.
I've seen some smashed heads.
Well, I mean, Garen
He's
would.
quite formidable.
I've actually got a very good war song about him.
I'd love to hear the Tales of the Mariners Guild. Garen would probably be right up your alley. I mean, he loves a fellow who can hold his own. But if you do want to help with the merfolk issue, I would suggest seeing the town hall and going to the council. Though
All right.
I
Is there
would
anybody?
say. Oh, go ahead.
Is there anybody in the council who is for creating peace with the merfolk?
I would roughly probably. I would say 7 out of the 9.
Wonderful.
2 of them.
That will make this easier.
Yeah, the 2 of them are. Well, one's a merchant baron, and so he loves the idea of getting anything that he can get his greedy hands on. And the other one is just very traditional. He's a fellow that, well, said the least, he wants this land, and he wants this land to prosper, so he'll do whatever he needs.
Whatever
What
it
are these
takes.
2 fellows' names?
Well, you have. Oh, hang on.
We have the Baron and the other fellow.
You have Baron Longshire, who is the merchant, greedy kind of type. And then you have
Is he a
Dorian Primewater.
I had a suspicion.
Really? I was like, one of them's gotta be named Primewater somewhere.
I had a suspicion. Ow. Don't drive your knee into a
Don't do that.
That seemed like it
It
hurt
hurts.
here.
Ooh. Your leg.
Oh, that was a boating accident.
Oh, okay.
Don't do that either.
Stop
Dorian Primewater's the one who's like
the traditionalist.
The traditionalist. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, he thinks that he owns everything and that the land should prosper, and he'll be the one who races it up. And never mind.
God, generations of Prime Waters back, and they're still giant jerks.
Yeah.
And
I
he
still
looks
say
at you
we
and he
kill
goes, he goes, maybe you should lave off the green mushroom.
It's wearing off. I've just.
All right. Well,
I can
let's go
see
talk to the town
nothing
hall.
good.
Right.
And I'll get you some more green mushrooms because you're a hoot like this.
Wait, did you say more?
Yep.
I get closer to Tyr, like, yes.
So actually, yeah.
And what was your name? We've never really gotten your name yet, I don't think. Unless I wasn't paying attention, I apologize.
Okay. He looks over to you and he goes, "My name is Luke."
Does he only
Do
have
you
one
happen
hand?
to walk in the sky?
No, I'm
sorry. The mushrooms.
Marcus, go.
I'm gonna go find more mushrooms with him.
Actually, so he grabs his satchel and he kind of pulls out a green mushroom and he goes, "Here, I think you should have this, not me."
Wonderful.
Hello, Radio Man.
You now have
Hello, Radio Man.
You now have one green mushroom of fun times.
Oh my goodness.
I look over at Tyr and I give him the little like. Just a little.
I think we should make a wine out of it.
That might not be a bad idea.
Because, well, no, from what I understand, I think your fellows should know. You don't eat those. You don't drink those. You boil those.
Oh, I know what to do with it. I'm gonna show Tyr. He's uninitiated.
So
okay.
Tyr wants to make a wine out of things sometimes. It's just.
I like trying new wines, and he's a really good person to try them on.
I'm curious. What happened? What's in the? How does? Oh, so okay. So when we were back at the manor, I picked a dead rose from the Prime Water grave.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Still a dead rose?
So that rose that you had picked, and you pull it out and you look at it now. You notice that the rose is no longer there.
That sucks.
What all is actually with us at this point?
Yeah,
We're looking at my equipment and whatnot.
Everything you had on your person is there, unless it was of Flora. Oh my God,
Flora.
Wow, God.
What?
Horrible.
Flora?
I have a squirrel in my backpack that is no longer there.
Lana, got it.
So it was a plant squirrel.
Anything that is that type of nature, plant-based, aka bread, yeast, that kind of stuff, is gone.
So the red spores that would have been in those vials.
You want to open a vial and find out?
Not here.
Yeah,
Not here. Not here.
Let's bring
I
up.
was gonna say, if he pulls out a vial and I see what it is, not here.
Sure. Let's unleash a couple hundred years old bioweapon across the past.
Hey, Garen, sniff this. What?
This is better than any green mushroom you'll ever
So
have.
wine is gone as well.
That's not fair. Don't do that to me.
I was gonna say,
Where does wine come from?
well, right. I'm just asking if that means because you said everything physical is fine. Well, if it's in a bottle, but then the
Yes.
bottle is empty, what? I'm confused.
Because I have 2 of these bottles of Munchausen Moran, and I'm not Xing those out.
I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to X them out.
I didn't even get to drink them.
Yes, you did.
So our water skins should be empty then too? Is that what you're saying? And our rations are gone, and like.
No, your water is fine. The rations are gone. If it was of plant-based nature, it is gone. If you had water in your water skin, perfectly fine. If you had jerky, perfectly fine, because jerky is...
That's of nature, though.
No, plant nature. Jerky doesn't come from plants, unless
I
you're an
know.
Impossible Whopper
Real
from
quick then,
Burger King.
for clarification, would that affect potions as well, like potions of healing and that kind of thing?
I don't know. Have you checked one?
Oh my god.
I mean,
I am going to take out a small healing potion and open it up, see if there's anything left.
You happen to notice that there is no liquid in these bottles.
Well, you know, if we go this route, that means almost all of our clothing is destroyed. None of our rope is there.
yes.
Because almost all of that is made out of
It's
hemp, which is a
plant-based.
plant, which means it's no longer there. We would be naked. Or close to.
Oh, you have armor. And also, no, we're not going to go that route. You're going to have your armor. But your
Okay, that's
potions,
what I'm trying to find out though. Is things
just
like
how far
that.
it goes.
Is how far it goes then.
Yes, it's
Because-
potions, plants, so on and so forth.
So potions
But-
are on too. That
But
sucks.
the vials of acid probably wouldn't be, just because of what it's made from. I'm assuming.
What is the acid made from?
Well, normally acids are made from.
Like, where did you get the acid from?
A couple different places.
A guy in the back alley.
I mean, you could open the vial and check it and see if it's there.
Yeah, I'll check some of the vials just to
Okay.
see what's empty and what's not.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I'll be honest with you. You guys got there, you took a nap, and you didn't really check yourselves, so I couldn't give you any information
This is
until you
true.
checked it. So
This is true.
I'm sorry, but I was just waiting for it. Like I was waiting for you to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna try a potion of healing." I'd be like, and guess what? When you open it up. But yes, no, that acids and whatnot. When you open that up and look at it, if it is not of plant-based nature, you would still have that acid.
Gotcha. Okay.
Welcome
There
back,
is a.
Twiz.
I'm sorry, but again, there's a specific thing why I had to do this.
Okay.
So is my incense gone? Are my candles gone? Because those are beeswax most likely.
No,
Like,
beeswax is good.
Beeswax.
okay.
Okay. So we're gonna say that the oil, I'm assuming, is from animal stuffs.
Oil is good.
Red dust at this point in time, I'm not going to try to find out.
Give me an insight. And give me an advantage because you have alchemy.
Yeah, like the first roll. 18, 19. There's my insight on here. 18, 19, 20, 21.
21. You can come up with a viable guess that when you open this vial, it's going to be empty.
Right.
That the way you shake it, to hold it, the way it felt, and what's happening with the health potions and whatnot, you're going, these are probably empty.
Fair enough.
Technically, I should have no spells.
No scrolls and whatnot?
No spell book. I have no spells. As a wizard, they're all in a book, and that's made out of plant-based material.
Yep.
My spell book vanished.
For that, we'll say that you have it. I won't be that rude. I won't be that rude and crude. It's DM discretion. But yes, you're noticing that some of the things that you had on your persons is gone.
Okay. So just clarify, it'd be the potions, the wine, any herbs or spices that we carried.
Correct. So yeah, your jerky, if it was spiced, isn't exactly spiced jerky.
Okay, so it's just plain jerky. Gotcha.
Yes.
It's bleh jerky.
Super hard attack.
It's just salty jerky. Very, very,
Yeah.
very, very salty.
This tastes like bark. Other than that, you have two choices. You can head to Garen. Oh, yeah, by the way, when you get to Saltmarsh, you notice that it is definitely not Saltmarsh. It is
Like
tents,
Salt Village?
cottages. There is one large building that is the warehouse / dock that you can see in invisible sight. Boats go in there, harbors, fix them up. Mariners Guild is located there. Tyr, you're noticing that that's definitely not where the Mariners Guild was in the current Saltmarsh timeline. And then there is a house that is similar to where Avis was.
Avis coming.
Yeah. But that's only the large structures in the area. There's, it's not exactly, where you had bustling, wow, Jesus,
Bustling?
wow. Bustling streets and, wards for trading, wards for living,
more like
that
salt
kind of
camp.
thing. Yes, and the slums and everything that's on top of the cliff that is to your south, not there. Not even touched. It is just large, untamed land.
Fair enough.
Yes. However, Marcus, in the distance, you can definitely see a familiar house. Well, tavern, so to speak.
Well, surely that has to be cleaner than it is 200 years in the future.
And it's definitely the Wicker Goat, but it looks way better than what it did.
It's better.
At least from what you can visibly see.
Well, we need to make our way to town hall.
All right, town hall, not too far away. Skip in about 5 minutes off the docks into the thing.
Did we want to talk to what's his name?
Quartermaster Garen?
No, not Garen.
Gregory.
Gregory.
Yeah,
Probably
Harbormaster Gregory.
Oh yeah, I
He's
suppose we gotta
like
stop
said,
Tell
there
him
first.
that we need to send the boats back and also, or the boat, singular, and figure out where Coven's men are.
Coven, one of those two. 6.
You said
12.
Coven to begin with.
Yeah,
What is it?
What was his name? We're named Coven.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go find Greg.
Okay.
All right.
That's even sooner. It takes 2 minutes to get off the dock and head into where the Mariners Guild / repair area. Oh my God, blah.
Shipwrights.
You know what I mean? Yes,
Words are
shipwright.
hard to
Seriously, it is bad today. I don't know what is going on with me. You can see there's a bunch of mariners getting ready to launch a boat. A couple of them are actually heading towards the dock themselves, shipping vessels, nothing fancy. There are crates, supplies, storage, men and women working up and down the area. But you can definitely see in the crowd there is a bald, tall man with a giant mustache.
Straight from Gregory.
Yeah, he looks like he is ordering people around left and right. Got a very loud, booming voice. And he is a half-orc.
Well, that's unexpected.
Yes. As you are going towards Gregory, you do notice there are some of these more heavily fortified guards. They are standing at posts. Looks like they're looking around. They're giving you the eye because it's for people traveling up to the harbor master. They don't stop you or anything, but you arrive at the harbor master. And he looks at you and he goes, "Oi, what you doing here?"
Coven sent us. He would like to get his thingy back to the Abbey, and he's wondering where the men that he requested a week ago are.
He looks over to you and he points at the 3 guards that are watching the dock and he goes, "There's some of them."
Great.
Conscripted in the guard book?
Everyone is. Oh, sweet Jesus. They even have my son doing it. The poor boy could barely hold a shield and a sword in his hands.
It'll be a good experience for him.
He's not a fighter. He likes instruments.
Well, each his own.
That's
Which
all right.
one?
Like your type of kid, Marcus. Someone you could take under your wing.
Or maybe he'll grow up to be a man.
Excuse the hell out of you.
he looks at you and he goes, I like you. I don't know you, but I like you.
I don't like you anymore. Get out of here, previous best friend.
But, yeah, he goes, so I take it you're from the Abbey? How'd you even get there?
We flew in on the wings of an angel. How else do you think we got there?
Say talk like that and they'll string you up and burn you.
Good, he
silly
deserves
questions
it.
get silly answers.
Yes, well, truthfully, no business of mine. So I take it you got a dinghy from there and you need it sent back?
That's correct.
Yep.
All right, and I can do that. But, so, are you travelers? Or
I'm a traveler.
Yes, travelers, diplomats of sort.
Travelers of a sort.
Oh,
He's an entertainer. She's a cleric, holy person, and he does the smash things with heavy object stuff.
And he looks and he goes,
Really accurate.
he goes, keep that to yourself unless you want to get conscripted by Garen.
Garen can go suck on a cod. We're going up towards the merfolk.
How loud did you say that?
I said it loud enough for the portmaster.
Okay, just making sure. He goes, yeah, I really like you. And he goes, well, if you're here on diplomatic missions, then you will need to head to the town hall. I can get that dinghy back.
Great.
Don't suppose, and he looks and he goes, don't suppose any of you have mariner experience, do you?
Sorry, fresh off my sea legs.
I hate to say it, but no, right not.
Damn.
No good.
Swear.
Can't help you.
He goes, damn, any and all travelers that travel up this way heading north, it's same answer. No experience, don't want to work, traveling, heading to the fortress.
We're here on diplomatic missions. We'll probably be back. The rest of them, maybe not.
No. Well, Saltmarsh ain't much of anything. I mean, you can get a drink over at the Wicker Goat. You can find some bedding there. If not, then most likely you're sleeping in the fields.
Say, what's the reputation at the Goat?
It's a fine establishment. Decent wines.
How are their prices
really complain
for
about-
sleeping?
Not bad, but unfortunately their rooms, it's more of first come, first serve. Whoever gets there, and there's a bit of a bidding war on the beds.
I tell you,
Okay.
enjoy that establishment while it lasts.
Is there something wrong there?
Oh,
Marcus.
He
I
ate
have a
the
feeling.
mushrooms.
Oh, and he goes, oh God, don't take
I've
those.
got a feeling it's going to get a lot worse.
We've
Oh,
tried to keep him
thank
away
you.
from the mushrooms, but it's hard.
Thank you for your help.
Oh.
We're gonna go to the town
Thank you
hall.
so much.
Oh, okay, well, it's and he points over to where the town hall is. It's right over there. There's, and he kind of looks at the sky and he goes, well, I mean, actually, the town should be having a meeting here not too soon, or not too far in the future.
Perfect. Maybe we can
Great.
gate crash.
By the way, in case if I come across you, boy, what does he look like?
And he just kind of smiles and he was like, all right, well, imagine me, bald, no mustache, thinner than a twig, and feminine in nature.
All
And his
right.
name?
Oh, his name is, well, Boyd.
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 B-O-Y-D.
All right.
Father, all I want to do is sing.
You might get the
No, no,
reference
no,
to
stop
the-
there, stop
the
there.
character.
There'll be no singing here.
Alright,
Thank you for the follow, Suede the Nerd. Hey, fellow nerds, unite.
He's gonna point you in the direction. He's like, off you go before you attract attention. I'm already busy here as it is.
All right,
Thank you for your time.
enjoy your time here.
Yes. And then he
And-
goes back to what he was doing, shouting about people getting the boat that's coming in ready.
Time to go to the town hall.
Right. So 5 minutes, another short jog. You can easily make it to the town hall. It's not much of a building. You barely 2 stories, if that. It has one entrance. It leads off to a little bit of a side room where people can convene, plead their cases, and then there's a much larger room to where the town hall is held, where there's chairs, benches for people to sit in that are, and whatever issue they're discussing is who they're letting in. Right now, there doesn't seem to be much of a line, but it definitely seems like the council is in. There is an advisor there at the front, and he looks up at you 4 when you approach and goes, "State your case, please."
Diplomatic mission to the north.
To the fortress?
Yeah.
To the lizardfolk?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
All. And he kind of looks down and he goes. He kind of looks down and he goes, "I don't have any diplomatic envoys for the fortress nor the lizardfolk. So who are you?"
We're new in town.
That's great.
My name is Tyr.
Thank you. Now that you have an understanding.
Like the kind that come out of your eyes.
So, he writes down Tyr's name on a list. Your other names?
Ariel.
All right. That's a pretty name. Next.
Torlock.
Torlock. All right. And your name, sir?
Marcus.
Is it 4 or 5 M's?
5.
5 M's? Marcus. All right. Well, if you're here for diplomatic missions to the north, give me a couple moments to speak with the town council and see if they will convene with you.
Thank you.
And he grabs his pamphlets and moses off to the side, and you can see like there's 1 or 2 people waiting. It is a mom and her daughter, both human. The daughter is playing with some dice on the ground as their mom waits, just sitting patiently waiting. Oh my god! Wow. I'm probably gonna have so many quotes of me being so bad today. And then there's another gentleman who's got his arms crossed and he looks like he's set on a pine cone type of face.
I'm gonna sit down in front of the little girl and pull out some of my own dice.
I'm gonna join Tyr. I can't step away from a good game.
The mom kind of glances over to you, but when she sees that you pull out some dice and whatnot, she goes back to knitting. The little girl's like, "Oh, what game are we playing?"
The same one you are, little girl. What game are you playing?
I like to play a game where I get the ones, and as many ones as I can get is good. And if I can roll it in 3 times and get all 5 ones, then I scream, "Bonsai!"
I got a better name for you. Hear me out. Yahtzee.
Yahtzee?
Not a sponsor.
That sounds stupid.
You sound stupid.
You sound stupid.
Wait, hold on. I don't care who's
I
doing
see
it.
I've met my mental match.
I want to pull out my rigged dice.
Oh, your rigged dice. Okay. It is like a normal dice. It is a D6.
I give Tyr a knowing look.
All right.
I have the best luck in the world, little girl. You want to see
really
how well I
does.
can roll ones?
I give you a slight drum beat.
And she goes, I bet you can't.
Okay, what do you want to bet?
I bet you, and she looks around and she goes, "Oh, I got a copper. I bet you cannot get 5 ones in 3 rolls."
All right, and I'm gonna pull out a gold piece. I bet you I can.
Her eyes light up and she's like, Oh, that's worth so much. Mommy, he's got a gold piece. And she's like, that's right, dear. Okay, yes, that's fine. And you've attracted the attention of the man who looks like not just a pine cone, but he also stepped on a Lego too.
Oh, fantastic.
Looking in your general direction.
So I'm gonna grab the dice, including the rigged one, and I'm gonna roll.
Oh, oh, I shouldn't tell you. I'm sorry. That dice that was rigged is a set of dice.
Right.
Okay, so just like you could potentially roll like ones in the first turn.
Yep. I'm gonna grab my entire set and just roll.
Okay. You roll the first time and magically all number ones pop up on all 5 dice.
As the dice are starting to settle, I increase the beat of the drums for a drum beat.
And this little girl's face just goes, how'd you do that?
I'm gonna give you the same luck that I have. Close your eyes.
And she closes her eyes and she puts her hands out.
I'm gonna take all of her dice, stick them in my pocket, and hand her the rigged dice.
Oh.
All right, here's your dice. Don't open your eyes yet.
Okay.
Cup them in your hand nice and tight.
Okay.
Now, think really, really hard and see it right there in your eye. And I'm gonna tap her right between her eyes. See it right there. Think about it nice and hard. And as soon as you open your eyes, drop the dice on the ground.
All right, all the ones. Bah! And she drops all the dice on the ground. And as she does this, all of them magically come up ones.
I yell, Yahtzee!
And she goes, we're not calling it that, but yeah!
Look,
she gets
you got all
ones.
ones. Guess what that means?
Yeah, her mom's like, yeah, that's good, girl, that's good. And the other guy is looking, the other guy who's, again, looked like he has sat on a pine cone and a Lego and ate 3 lemons, looks at you and he goes, and he just kind of relaxes a little bit. And the girl's like, what, do I get the gold coin?
You get the gold coin because you rolled all the ones.
She's so excited that she grabs like the gold coin and she starts like running around the room. She's like,
Hold on, little girl. You cannot ever get rid of that gold coin. Do you know why?
Why?
Because that's where the luck comes from. With that gold coin and those dice, you'll always roll ones.
Oh, she's like, oh, I could trick the other boys, the boys that are mean with me with these.
You know, that sounds like a fantastic idea, but
I
don't let anybody else use those dice. They're only
So the butterfly effect in the future.
I lean into around Tyr and I whisper to Tyr, congratulations, you've just created a gambler.
I know, ain't it great?
And a cheater at that one.
And she goes, oh, okay. So you're giving away your set of.
Yep, she now has my rigged dice.
Okay, she pockets.
And you have your set of plain dice.
Yep.
Yeah, she goes. Okay, yeah, I'll take really good care of these. I'm gonna. Mommy, can I go play? And the mom's like, yes, dear, you can go play. Just be good. Be back. Dinner's gonna be ready shortly. And she bolts. She bolts out of the town hall.
I am going to
hilarious.
I am going to sit in my chair as puffed up as I possibly can get.
The advisor comes out and he says, all right.
It's
Leonard.
Disney Jerk.
He goes, Leonard, you're up. Please make your time short. The council is ending for the day as soon as we deal with the rest that's in the town hall. And he goes back to the front of the town hall, and Leonard walks the door and slams it shut.
Is he the
He's a
sourpuss face?
Yeah, the sourpuss face guy. There's quiet for about a moment or two, and then you hear, "What do you mean they're not getting here? I ordered those 4 weeks ago." And it gets quiet again, and he goes, "Well, beep, beep, censor, beep, Jerry Springer show, beep, you!" And he opens the door, slams it, walks out of the town hall.
I'm guessing that didn't go his way.
And the woman goes,
What gave you that idea?
"Yeah." That woman goes, "I wish that man would die. I wish that man would die so horribly."
Holy crap.
Whoa.
Who's that guy?
And and the town advisor leaves the town hall, goes back into the office. A minute later, comes back out, and he goes, "Sarah, you're up."
Bye, Sarah.
Stands up, and she goes, "Good day to you."
Good day to you
And,
as well.
Good evening, ma'am.
And she goes in to the room, closes the door nice and neat. There's a couple minutes before nothing really happens, and then she walks out, and she was like, "Well, that was easier than I thought," and continues to knit as she walks out the town hall, and she gives you a good little wave, and then off she goes. The advisor again comes through, goes into the town hall, comes back out, and he goes like, "All right, the diplomatic party. Well, I guess it's just you 4. You don't have to say your names. They're ready for you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you have yourself a nice day." Walks out there.
You as well.
And wander into the room.
Yes, as you wander into the room, you see 9 people sitting there, all around, kind of like in a round table format. There are chairs or a bench you can sit on. All of them are eagerly awaiting you because it seems like they're interested in this, whatever you have to say to them. Their ages range from mid-30s to probably upper 60s. No one here looks vaguely familiar at all. Like if Tyr, you'd have general, like if Tyr would have general knowledge of like maybe what people would look like in a painting or something, they don't look familiar.
I mean, you can't even tell that Prime Water's ancestor is his ancestor?
Correct.
Okay.
There are 3 women and 6 males.
All right. So, you were already told. We're here for a diplomatic mission. We're going to head to the fort, and we're going to see about driving peace between the merfolk and the fort.
And they kind of look at you and they go, "Were you hired by Kaelin? We've heard no news of a diplomatic party approaching."
That's because we didn't want anything to happen before we got here to put anybody on edge.
So you're saying that you were sent from Kaelin, which we as the town council, were not made aware of, to approach diplomacy with the merfolk, which we've been having wars with.
Correct.
Battle skirmishes. Roll me a deception.
All of us, or just?
Tyr, since he's speaking.
That would be a 22.
22.
Nice.
I don't think I'm going to beat that, but just in case. No. With a 2, I am definitely not going to beat that.
Who's speaking? Is
I am.
the No, of the council.
Oh.
It is a.
I know you're speaking.
It's a male who is probably around 50.
Okay.
He's humanoid. You notice that every single person in this council is human.
Okay.
He looks over at Tyr and he goes, "I don't understand why they attempt this." The man's speaking. He's like, there is no diplomacy with those beasts.
And your name?
Darien Primewater.
Ah, Primewater. I thought as much. You, sir, while your intentions are noble, you're not thinking about the big picture.
Well,
What
paint
you're
it out for
looking
me.
at, what you're trying to do, yes, it can bring much prosperity to Saltmarsh. However, by creating enemies out of the merfolk, you technically are ostracizing yourself from a great asset and protector of the city.
And he looks at you and he goes, well, I assume that you weren't here months ago then when the merfolk started trading regular people their little baubles of the ocean, and it started turning people into, well, I don't know, ugly, tainted creatures. Or you weren't here when the baubles magically exploded, or portals opened up between here and there, people disappearing.
There have been reports of these incidents. But my question is, what incited it? Us moving in and taking over their territory. So maybe diplomacy can stop all of this from happening.
It's possible we could prevent quite a few deaths of the people of Saltmarsh as well with diplomacy rather than war.
And tactically speaking, you would have a great, as Tia said, a great asset in protecting the waterfront if you made an ally of these people.
So when Torlock and Tyr speak, he seems like no to notice. When Ariel speaks, he seems like he's just rolling his eyes.
One of those types.
Yes. Well, if you remember, right now, the
Yeah,
elves
I
are not
know.
exactly happy, so he sees an elf. He sees a wood elf. You're wood elf, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He sees a wood elf, and he's like, great, you. He goes, well, by all means, you can try talking with the fishmen.
Merfolk.
However, whatever they want to be
Merfolk,
called.
say it.
Fishmen.
Merfolk, say it.
Do you know who you're addressing?
Your name is Primewater. I know who I'm addressing. Merfolk, say it.
I'm not going to say that word, and if you try to make me say that word, I will gladly call the gods in and have you arrested.
And
you
I
say
can
that
bring
word
this place
all
down
you like.
around your ears. Try me.
Give me an intimidate.
That would be a 20.
I would like to join his side and like be intimidating with him when I see this happening.
So, give me a good roll here. Oh. He does not seem intimidated, but he looks at you and he goes, threats are not going to be your help here if you're diplomats, correct?
I'm going to
That's
be a
not how
diplomat
you
with the
negotiate.
merfolk. You're not being diplomatic yourself. I'm not here on your side. I'm here on the city side, and you're being a twat.
Hang on, Tia. Hang on, Tia. Let me speak for a second here. Now,
and he gives your attention.
Just out of, trying to be all friendly like here. The reason why we want you to say merfolk is because it will give them some sort of recognition, something that they and we can use to our advantage to help create peace.
Do you see any of your fishmen around here?
No, but it's always rumors and things that go around about certain individuals. If you present yourself in a certain way, you'll be perceived in a certain way.
Yes, well, I served tuna and bream and salmon, so until they prove better worth than that, they will be fishmen to me.
How about you open your mind and figure out that they can be of use?
Well, then go prove it. You're wasting my time as it is.
I'll bring you with
you're
me.
going to need to go.
What about the rest of you council members?
And they look over and they kind of look at Primewater and they're just like, he speaks for us on this matter.
Oh, so you have no spines in this building whatsoever.
You have no voice of your own? You let one person speak for you when you are a council of 9?
An
Why is that?
ignorant fellow.
One person isn't speaking for them. One person is bullying them. One bully is speaking for them.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yes.
Okay. And they go, well, when you come back with more respect and your task is handled properly, then perhaps we would give you a better, I don't know, reputation. But for now, we don't know who you are. Apparently you're from Coland, and you have yet to prove anything here. Prove something to us, and then we'll give you a better demeanor.
Very well, but might I suggest something as well? Should we succeed in our mission, you'll have to give those that we create an ally with a seat on your council.
Yeah, we don't want our efforts to be wasted. We're not going to go do this work for you to throw it all away.
So what you're suggesting is, if you somehow speak peace to the merfolk who've been at war with for years now with the fortress, and the lizardfolk who, unfortunately, we've had some issues with our quartermaster, dealing with those. I would suggest that you would need a miracle of some god to do these things.
That's not a miracle. We need your word.
Again, prove it to me, and I will prove it to you
word.
as well.
We're
that
not
we can
leaving
be
this
friends.
office until we get your word that you will put a seat on the council.
We don't give seats to other lesser beings. We'll give them voices.
They're not lesser beings. That's the point of the diplomatic mission, is it not?
And the reason why I suggest a seat on the council is to, well, let's put it to you this way. It's worked in the past with other allies to have their voices heard and to have representative on council so that we can avoid the unpleasantries of war.
We'll give them an embassy. How about that?
A seat.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to give them a seat. And
then you will be disposed.
He looks over at the... I'm sorry, was that a threat?
No, that was a promise.
Guards! And as he says guards, the guards that were around the town hall and whatnot start filing in. Please, go on with your words. The next one better be good.
Once peace is found between the different races here, you will be disposed in your seat.
As you say that, he snaps his fingers. Roll initiative.
Fireball.
Right back. That is not a 20.
Okay, so fuck.
His chair is creating some sort of like Enderman-like figure in the camera.
I know, right? It's gonna start stealing frames off of the overlay. Whoop, and there the first one goes.
Don't. Oh dear. Take out my glaive.
Right? Like Peter Pan?
Well, hopefully we liked playing. We're all going to die. There we go.
That's alright. I have a new spell to play with.
So that's what this is all about.
No, that's because Tyr thinks this guy is a complete tool.
This guy is a complete tool.
Yeah,
See?
he is.
There we go.
I mean, he's a Prime Water at this point. As far as I'm concerned, all Prime Waters are complete tools in this game, completely. So.
All right, so just for your general knowledge, there is about 6 guards in this town hall.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna die. That's fine. The
About
campaign's
6 or
gonna
exactly
end tonight, so just so you guys know, that's probably what's gonna happen. We're all gonna die, and just, you know.
Nice plan. We'll see you guys later.
Yep.
These guards are very heavily fortified. These are not something that you would find on the streets patrolling. They all have shields. They all have long swords. They all are full and half plate. They all snapped to attention when he snapped his fingers and he called for them. You were probably about 10 feet into the building. I don't know if you were sitting down or not, or in the room. They have all filed in.
No, none of us sat.
Okay. They have all filed in to the room and are now kind of behind you and around you. About 20 feet up is the council sitting around this round table. The council people look slightly afraid. Prime Water doesn't seem bugged at all. And the firework.
And are they afraid? They look afraid. They looked afraid as soon as he snapped his fingers and the guards came in, or he was afraid of. They were afraid of threats from Tyr.
That.
I asked 2 questions, so I don't know which you answered to. I'm sorry.
They were afraid of Tyr.
Okay.
Like his threats of, we're going to dispose of you. Or dispose you, not dispose. Dispose. You know what I mean. That word. All right. We'll go alphabetical. Ariel.
12.
Oh, better than a 3 than last time. Marcus.
23.
Jesus. Torlock.
That would be a 12.
Tyr.
17.
17. All right. And my handy dandy dice here. Well, she probably heard the fireworks, so she probably freaked out.
No, fireworks don't scare her.
Oh, wow. You rolled pretty decently. Not too high, though.
Yep, we're still here, Speedy.
We're all gonna die.
Yep. In like 10 minutes. 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. Yeah, it's the end of Saltmarsh. It's fine. He sort of pissed off
one of the
a
council
group
members.
of people. So, well, council member and then the called in guards. So that's what happened. It's great.
All right.
I mean, he's a jerk, but he has power behind him. So there you go.
No, actually, it wasn't Rep this time. It was all me.
This time it was Tyr.
No, it was here, but warranted because the guy was a complete jerk.
All right. Marcus, you are up first. You have guards around you, and Prime Water looks at you one last time, and he says, you are going to what?
I cast greater invisibility on myself.
He's going to disappear.
He's gonna disappear.
And he goes, ha! Well, looks like you have a coward in your midst.
I
Grin.
move to Garen.
Garen's not here.
Who's speaking then? The Prime Water.
Dorian Prime Water.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you can get right behind him.
Yep, I will get behind Dorian. I can't attack him yet, but I'll be 10 feet away from him, and I'll say just loudly enough, not a coward.
And he goes, oh, a sorcerer.
Yep.
The next 3 people are going to be guards. Prime Water again looks at them and he goes, that one. And he points at Tyr. And all 3 guards make their way up to Tyr and they grab their weapons and swing.
So they're more about attack first and ask questions later rather than actually trying to capture someone? That's interesting.
They're more about beat him to an inch of his life than ask questions.
Well, I mean, most of the time you get arrested first versus just being attacked. That's what I meant.
19 on the die.
Misses as
sorry,
I
19
cast
to hit.
shield.
I'm sorry, 19 to hit. My bad. Not 19 on the die.
Misses as I cast shield.
Okay. Second one goes. Oh, sorry. Actually, he gets 2 attacks. My bad. Ooh, that's a nat 20.
By the way, do any of them pass within 10 feet of me?
I would say if you're next to Tyr, one of them would get close to you.
Okay. Whichever one that gets close to me in that fashion, 10 feet of me, I guess.
Yes.
I read that correctly. It would provoke AO.
10 feet?
Yep, because I am a glaive out.
I'm sorry, you're what?
My glaive.
He's a glaive
okay.
master.
Gotcha. Okay. Wait, you have a glaive on you?
Yep. I just haven't used it this whole time because the flamey hammer was fun.
Well, yeah, the flaming hammer of death is pretty nasty. All right, so I need to find his weapon real quick. Okay, it is a scimitar. It is going to do 6 points of slashing damage to you. Oh, sorry, that's a crit. My bad. 9 points of slashing damage to you.
Okay.
All right, the second bandit is up, heading to Tyr. That is a nat 1. As he walks forward, roll again. He walks forward and stubs his toe enough to where he stops. This bandit is the one that's going to get close.
Okay.
To you. So does he just AO swing for him?
Yep. 15, dirty 20.
A dirty 20 just hits.
All right. That would be 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Okay. That guy doesn't really like you much, but he's still heading for Tyr because he was ordered to. First attack is going to miss. Second attack is going to miss. Your shield is a good thing, Tyr.
Uh-huh.
Alright, Tyr, you are now up. You are surrounded by 3 guards. The other 3 still haven't made their move just yet. They are more towards Ariel.
I'm gonna turn to Prime Water.
They're coming to attack me, really?
You're the closest to them.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna turn to Prime Water. Cowardice is resorting to violence instead of talks.
It seems effective enough.
And then I'm gonna cast Summon Lesser Elementals.
Oh my god! Okay, well.
Okay, Tyr, that spot for being my best friend's open again.
Oh my god!
There will now be a water elemental and fire elemental present in the room right next to me.
Oh, okay.
Good.
I don't have that spell on me. Is it
Fourth level
summon
spell?
elemental?
It's a 4th level spell from the PHB.
Okay. We can find the PHB because I'll add them to my encounter real quick.
You summon elementals that appear in unoccupied spaces that you can see within range. You choose one of the following options for what appears. I choose the highest, which is summoning 2 lesser elementals of challenge rating 1 or lower. And the elemental dies, it disappears, or when I dismiss it, it disappears.
I can't find the PHB.
Oh, are you talking to creatures themselves?
No, the spell.
The spell's called Conjure Minor Elementals. It exists.
Oh, conjure minor elemental. Okay. Sorry. DM the. Okay. All right, I see it. There we go. All right, so 2 elementals of challenge rating 1 or lower. All right. Let me roll initiative for the summoned creatures as a group. All right, go ahead and roll their initiative then, please.
Okay. The first one we'll say is the fire elemental. He gets a 16. And the second one is the water elemental, and he gets a 6.
All right.
I don't.
There it is.
What's up, Ariel? You have a question?
I did about Guardian of Faith. I didn't know if you could actually control the Guardian and make it move with you, or if it's just in a space permanently for the entire duration of its being up.
All right. I now have added them to my library, so you are good to go. So you have a. CR1. There you are. Okay. Strength 6 dex. Wow, these things are pretty beefy. All right. Fire and water added there. Good to go. What would you like to do after that, sir? Because your elementals will be going.
Looks like it just stays.
That's how I interpret the spell as well.
Okay, thank you. That's I just wanted another interpretation, so thank you. I appreciate that.
There is nothing else I can do at the moment.
Go. You said the fire was 12?
The fire was 17.
17? Okay. And then you have the other one, which was 6.
Or no, 12 and 7. Sorry, you were right. It was 12.
12 and 7? Okay. All right. Sorry, it took me a minute to actually find them in the library. Yes. We're going to do one round of action, then we're going to call it.
That's fine. I just want to make sure the plan going like this.
Yes. All right, we're going to do that. It is now actually the elemental's turn. The fire one.
All right. I will have him... which one am I going to do? Yeah, I'm just going to have him... Rather than trying to harm the guard, I'm going to have him step right next to the guard and place its hands on his armor.
All right.
As in a grapple.
Gotcha. So anyone within a melee range of this fire elemental is going to take 1d10 fire damage. Like, just right off the bat. There is no... It doesn't even seem like there's a resistance or anything to it. They just take 1d10 fire damage.
Yes. And this thing's walking around so that he will be outside of the 10-foot range of me on this turn.
Okay. So we're going to say that he's going to hit at least one guard doing that. Roll me a 1d10.
That would be... 2.
All right, he takes 2 fire damage. He's not amused by that at all.
And then this thing's going to grapple him.
Gotcha. That's going to be a strength check. And his strength is pretty decent, so we'll see. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 15 on the die.
All right. He rolled a 17 on the die. So he is not grappled. But he is not liking the fire. Alright. The fire elementals do get a multi-attack. You're going to do that.
Then he'll try again.
Okay. Go right ahead. This one,
He rolled a 15 on the die.
He rolled an 18 on the die.
This is not working in my favor. Stop it.
Yeah, literally. All right. Also, being grappled by fire. Ooh, that's horrible. All right, Ariel, it is your turn. As I said, there is 3 guards to your right-hand side. They have not acted just yet. They are looking at the entire party, though not just here.
All right. I am going to cast. Okay, how far are we from the council members?
They are 20 feet to your north around a round table. So imagine just a couple of spaces for chairs, and that's how they are.
Okay.
So anywhere between 20 to 30 feet.
That's kind of what I'm going for, Jaded.
Okay, this is what I would like to do. I would like to try to calm the emotions of the guards plus another council member or 2, but I think we're too far away from them because I can place the radius sphere wherever I want. So I'm just trying, I'm sort of having a hard time picturing where the guards are versus us versus the council members, I guess.
If you use the calm emotions orb at the council members, you can hit all of them. If you place the orb in between the council members and you, it's gonna hit just like a few of the council members and where you're standing. If you settle the orb on you, it's gonna hit all of you and the guards.
Okay, so I can't really hit both the guards and the council members. I have to choose between. That's kind of what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I would rather than calm the guards, so I will center it on myself then and say, please, everyone calm down. Diplomacy is what we're looking for, not violence.
Okay. What do you designate as friendly?
What do you mean? What do I designate as friendly?
You have to you want to make sure that you designate which ones you don't want harm to be caused to.
No, there's no harm. Calm emotions suppresses strong emotions in a group of people. There's no harm. Like they have to make a charisma saving throw. If a creature fails its saving throw, they either suppress the emotion or they choose a different target to they become indifferent about who they're trying to attack.
It says you can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. These guards are not charmed or frightened. They are being ordered to do their job.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. We've done this before to try and calm the situation. That's all I'm trying to do.
Right.
So I guess I shouldn't do that then.
No. In that case, when you used it, they were frightened.
Oh,
okay. You remember because it was the horse and the person that was pulling the caravan.
Okay.
That's where you were using that. It was an actual effect. They were frightened. But
yeah,
here,
I've used it on other things too, so it wasn't just that effect. But fine, I'll center it on the council members that are afraid of Tyr.
Okay, that will work very well, actually. All right.
And calm them and try to reassure them we are not here to fight you. But Prime Water decided that he was going to attack us because we said something that he was afraid of.
Which makes perfect sense. So I will roll the charisma charisma saving throw real quick.
Great, wait, do that. Here we go.
All right, 5 out of the 9 seem to be somewhat affected by this effect.
Somewhat
Now they
effective.
do
Okay.
they do know that you're casting a spell on them.
Yes, I mean, I
Okay.
get that. It's just, there shouldn't, okay, whatever.
No. I'm not saying that. Like you verbally have to cast a spell. It is a verbal and symmetric. So you're
correct.
channeling something when they say this. So you're
Yeah,
saying
so we
this,
can't.
hey. Yeah. So
Sorry.
you're saying, hey, look, we're trying to calm this down and whatnot. So 5 of them go, okay, yes, we understand, what we're doing. Prime Water did make his save.
I mean, he wasn't afraid though, so it didn't matter.
Correct.
Yeah.
But well, he was a little bit fearful when he found there was a sorcerer that was behind him.
I mean, you had said that he wasn't afraid at all. So, like, I was going off of the fact that all the council members except for him was afraid.
Yeah, so you can be afraid. You just don't want to show it. So when Marcus was like Nani, he was like, crap. These aren't normal people. So 5 of the 9, and so they go, hold. Perhaps we were being a bit too overzealous.
Perhaps.
All we're looking for is diplomacy and peace, and you decide that we're here to be your enemy, and I don't understand this.
You understand that you came into our town hall, told us that you are a diplomacy. You wanted to use diplomacy for the people we have been at war with.
Mm-hmm.
You are no better than a druid from Silverstrand that comes here and says, please don't attack our nature.
And that's a bad thing. Why? You
because
don't.
all things have to live, and unfortunately we require supplies and lumber and
But
timber.
have you communicated with any of these nations to communicate your need and do some trading rather than just taking what you want?
When our needs are greater than what they can provide, then unfortunately we have to do what we must do. However,
So you don't
I understand.
care.
I care as much for life as any others would. However, I also need to protect the lives that are here. So, and this is the female that's speaking, by the way, not Prime Water. She goes, I understand where you're coming from, but you don't understand that you came into our town hall and ordered us, in a matter of speaking, that you're going to go to the fortress, which you hadn't even let us speak, that you can't go to the fortress without the quartermaster's approval. And secondly, you said you were going to dispose of the town elect's leader, Prime Water.
We were looking for a concession for
No, you
these
gave us an order, dear.
I did not. Please do not put words in my mouth.
Well, that gentleman who seems to be speaking for you.
He was not speaking for me, he was speaking.
Yes, well,
That does not mean that he speaks for me. I am
then-
speaking now and speaking for myself. That's the whole point
well,
of
then
a
that's-
council, that you choose one person to speak for you versus having a voice of your own.
No, he is the town elect. He speaks for us, and if we need to speak, we interject. But if our goals are aligned, we do not speak. That is how it works here. That is how it always has worked on this council. So let me restate this. You threatened the town elect.
I
to
made no
dispose of him.
threat.
You definitely said dispose of him.
I did.
You're taking his livelihood away. That is pretty much taking his life.
I won't do it. I never
Well,
said
then-
I was going to take it away. I said he was going to be disposed.
That
I
right
was
there is
telling him
not
that it was going
words
to
you say.
happen. It was not a threat.
Well, your elementals prove otherwise.
My
It's called a
elementals are for
prediction.
protection.
If someone continues on the path that they are going, and someone else of these nations that you are with at war decides that they don't like what you're saying or doing, they will choose to dispose of any of you. That is not a threat from us. That is a
fact.
That is what's going to happen. That is a fact. But if you allow for peace to happen, for talks to happen, rather than just straight war, then that's probably not going to happen. But you have to be willing and open for change and for what is the word I'm looking for? Camaraderie, I believe, or open to being open to different races of people, and you are not. And that is part of the problem.
Unfortunately, we were given a specific thing. The fortress was to be built. It was built. The city of Saltmarsh was built secondly. Right now, we do not have the resources nor the supplies to handle a proper town.
You're also surrounded. If you make enemies of the people around you, you will not be able to survive.
You will be disposed.
Well, the fortress seems to be playing plenty enough force to the other races that we don't have an issue at the moment.
And
well, you're not exactly using armies at the moment, are you?
Well, and she goes, have you been to the fortress? Do you even know that? Where are you even from?
As
you
well
understand that you've come here and you've given us no information other than you're going to be a diplomacy and go off and do these great things. We don't know who you are. We don't know where you're from. And lastly, we don't know if you are even truthful to your meanings. You could be some type of merchant who is just trying to get in the ways of trading just so you can prosper off them. Wage war against us. We don't know. So Prime Water here says, hey, go prove yourselves. And then you say, oh, well, we're going to dispose of you if you don't like our order.
No. He said you will be disposed, not by us. That's not what he said.
Again, I was just merely advising you as to the tactical situation that you have yourselves in. You don't have the manpower to withstand, including, trust me, no fortress ever built is impervious to any assault by mass numbers. And I can almost guarantee you, you don't have the numbers, and as you said yourselves, the resources to keep that fortress going for an indeterminate amount of time. If the merfolk control your waterways, and you have the druids and the elves and the dwarves and all that surrounding you, you're not going to last very long without food and water, or reinforcements from the kingdom.
But if you try to establish trade routes, partnerships, friendly relations with all of these nations, then your sustainability grows exponentially, to which you could prosper. This town could severely prosper from all of the help from all around you versus fighting with everyone around you.
So, what you're saying is... One moment. Sorry about that. That was...
no worries.
Well, dear, they couldn't give us the supplies we needed, so we simply did as ordered and took what we needed. You are free to go see the quartermaster, as long as you're done entertaining us here, and give permission to go to the fortress and provide diplomacy, if that is your so being, and whatever. Sorry, I
It's a bit of a frazzle. Understandably, things got off on a bit
He
of a
said
wrong
some things-
foot
he
on
said
both
some
ends.
things we
So
misunderstood each other. So we'll try it over. We'll get the permission that you're looking for, and we will try to help you create a very great nation, hopefully without any more bloodshed, so to speak. Will that be sufficient?
If your wise words are so true, then go, by all means, go for it. However, I will inform you, the quartermaster is not a very forgiving man. And she looks over at Prime Water and she goes, I'm sure this incident isn't without report, or will be without report shortly. And Prime Water goes, you bet your ass.
Very well. But just remember that we're here to help you.
Well,
and I look specifically at Prime Water.
Prime Water goes, well, first off, get rid of your elementals. Secondly, and
call the guards off.
snaps his fingers, and the guards kind of stand back to attention, and they still stay near you, but they're staying away from the elementals so they don't get burned. First off, and he goes, secondly, whoever your invisible man is, you tell him to pop up now.
And he's gone.
I think he fell asleep back there.
and you go, I'm waiting.
He might be sleeping.
Does he have narcolepsy?
Some days.
He's also been known to take some green mushrooms, which have led him down some strange paths.
Prime Water literally face palms, like the whole Picard meme. Boom. And he's like, get out. You've wasted enough of my time.
Mark my words. If you don't change your ways, Prime Water, you will find yourself disposed.
That'll be a long day coming, I'm sure.
Pride cometh before fall.
Well, gents, lady, shall we go?
And that is where we are going to end. Is in the town hall of Saltmarsh, the beginning. All right. Thank you for staying a little bit longer than what we normally do. As always, thank you for Syrinscape for providing music for us. I'm sure this is going to be very entertaining because this actually happens from the book, which normally I don't do, but I thought this would be very interesting. So if you do have the Ghosts of Saltmarsh book, you can indeed follow along with me. What's going to happen? No spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't tell us what's going to happen.
I will snap my fingers and you will disappear like Thanos.
We want to find out what's going to happen on our own.
Yes. All right. Anyone else has anything else to add?
Big thank you to everybody out there who joined us. Those of you who are watching, if you haven't seen it yet, we do have a giveaway going on right now on our social media. Check it out. Join the giveaway. You could potentially get a starter kit. We will have a new table in our dining room very shortly here, so you guys get to see that too. And today's Wednesday. Saturday there will not be a game as it is 4th of July. Sunday should be Sand and Magic.
My dog just ate something.
Yep.
In the meantime, we have a request to go raid Mr. Parallax, so we are going to raid the Parallax.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.
See you next 2 Wednesdays from now.
We are gone.
She's still eating.